to our second episode of Don't Call It a Recap.
It's a recap.
It's not a recap.
It's a recap.
Don't call it a recap.
Guys, in this show, we talk about what's happened in the last couple episodes. This time, we're going to be talking about episodes
10 to 14.
10 to 14
And
the one shot.
the one shot in between.
Yes.
If we must.
So, round table. We have joining us this episode. Who's going to go first?
I'm Ryan. I play Greg.
Yes. I'm Carlos. I play Orys.
I'm Tony, and I play Mitski.
Yeah.
And I'm Larry, I'm the narrator.
Also the
Dungeon
DM.
Master. That overall bad guy.
Bad guy.
That's how you feel.
Statistically, every bad guy. That's just an objective observation.
I'm just gonna do a quick 2-minute episode 1 to episode 10 summary, just so we can get for those who are joining us for the first time. So between episode 1 and episode 10, the party found themselves united in a cave.
Real quick.
Yes.
Quick announcement. Sorry. Before, I want to say thank you to our friends at Blue Raven Studios for letting us use this space.
Yes, thank you
today.
so much.
Be on the lookout for some news in the near future.
Yeah.
In the near future.
Some
Good things are in the making.
yes,
So
a lot of
just-
plans.
A lot of plans are in the making for sure. So
thanks, Blue Raven.
thanks, Blue Raven.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blue Raven.
So,
And
Thanks,
yes.
Blue Raven.
Thanks,
So,
Bio.
between episode 1 and episode 10, the party found themselves brought together in a cell in a cave in the middle of nowhere. Through some brief exchanges, you guys roughly introduced yourselves to one to another and fought your way through the cave of goblins and one human leader and made your way to the nearest town of Middleack. Upon arriving in Middleack, you got yourself a place to stay and began to look around. Some of you getting familiar with the locals, others trying to find coin. And you quickly found out that some mischievous deeds were being done in the guards of Middleack. One of yourselves, Mitski, getting arrested.
Well,
I
there's a
have-
boy in the well.
Wouldn't have happened if my entire party didn't ditch me.
I was
So,
afraid.
being able to, fortunately, through the use of trickery and magic, got yourselves out of the situation and quickly continued on your way with a job one of the local merchants had to get to Bindle. Leaving Middleack, you made your way to Alverton, where you celebrated Merfrin's Day and got engaged with a local farmer.
I didn't know we were that far.
A simple form.
Huh?
We got engaged with the local farmer.
Shut up. With a local farmer.
And we eloped.
Shut up. Got associated with him, took on a couple of jobs, realized that the town, in the outskirts of town, in the local forest, inhabited a swarm of giant phase spiders. In the process of it, you attempted to handle it peacefully, but unknowingly, you got included with a druid who brought these spiders to the town and his own way of doing things.
Druids will do what druids do, okay?
Right? So, in the process of trying to save the town, you got involved with the Bendelian knights and guild members and saved as much of the town as you could. In the process, the Bendelian officials decided they needed to investigate further and, quote-unquote, requested that you go to Bindle to further the investigation. After getting your belongings and acquiring some interesting trinkets along the way, you made your way over to Bindle, and in the process encountered a few nightmares and what appeared to be warnings from another worldly
You
being.
don't have to be so mean to those knights
Right?
Nightmare,
that were following us.
Yes.
Through the series of nightmares, you learned of some type of other thing that's been watching you, and some other outside force that is supposedly looking out for you.
Through a necklace.
Yes. You have, at the end of episode 10, you made your way to and arrived in Bindle, and have procured a place to stay in the form of the Sleepy Bird Tavern, run by King Coos and one human.
I thought it was the inn.
Maybe.
Sleepy Bird Inn. Oh, Sleepy Bird
One of
Inn.
them.
Yeah.
Sleepy Bird Inn,
Something
Tavern,
like
stay, hope, whatever. So,
That's your world.
You at home should know what it is.
yeah,
Of course, they'll know.
the die-hard fans know. And
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
Which is
one
us.
of them.
Love you, Mom. So, episode 10. You guys learned that you guys had about a day and a half left before your interrogation with the higher-ups of the guild, and decided to get to know your surroundings a bit more. You, looking around, you learned of the Bjorn Arena, dedicated to one of the heroes of old.
Best hero of old.
I'm sure. And had a quick trip to the Temple of Amater. Very, very quick trip.
Very quick.
I tried.
Uh-huh.
I thought.
We'll talk about it. We'll
We'll
talk
talk
about it.
about it.
Let him finish.
After your exchange, a couple of you guys did a little bit of marketing at a very, very, what I learned to be very, very high discount.
Oh, oh yeah.
And decided to participate in the events in the Bjorn Arena, with Orys and Mitski fighting while the rest either gambled or just watched from the sides. Through the time there, you encountered a couple of groups, and fought your way to victory in the pits. And I believe was the end of episode 10, if I'm not mistaken.
That we won? Yeah.
Yeah, you won. And
Yeah.
it ended with you getting your money.
Yep.
So, thoughts?
So this is where Gray
What was
lost.
going through Gray's mind?
So Gray was just thinking that if he showed up and demanded what we needed immediately, that they would kind of respect our efficiency. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
I see.
because everyone looked busy and shit, so he was just like trying to get to.
Gray is used to a capitalistic society. I see.
No, he's used to working within one. But yeah, no, I just
Where customers first.
yes, I just tried to demand too much too quickly, and then got made
He's like the
very uncomfortable.
He's like that mom that just walks up to the to the counter with the haircut. Like, let me talk to your manager.
Gray is not Karen, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because I left
know.
as soon as I realized how
Maybe like a Stacy?
exceedingly embarrassing
A Karen or a
that
Stacy?
shit was.
Or
But
Lauren.
We can't
Yeah,
be doing this to our viewers named Stacy and Logan.
I'm sure the Stacys and Laurens of the world know it.
I didn't.
We
no
appreciate
offense,
you, Stacy's,
Stacey or
Laurens,
Lauren.
and Karens.
Who are watching?
I'm
you
not
know.
Who are
saying
definitely
this.
watching right now.
But yeah, no, I thought it would work out a little better than it did, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't.
It didn't. Also, bone to pick number 2.
Don't look at me.
Oh no.
I'm just the narrator.
So you said that we had a high discount.
An
Oh.
incredibly high discount. Incredibly.
Wasn't it like 5%?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, no, but like
He's talking about prices
the
in general.
prices, because I decided to, because when you guys went to shop,
Oh, you two were talking about something different, I think.
yeah, when you
okay.
guys went to shop for your weapons and equipment, I was just like, I didn't have the sheet up. in
Oh
front
yeah,
of,
you gave me
I
my
did.
econ real
I didn't have the sheet up for magic items in front of me, and I didn't want to spend 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
looking up through my stuff, so I was just like, I just threw a number out there. And then afterwards, you guys spent like $200
we
on
went
a
hardcore
plus one magic weapon.
Yeah.
In the actual price, it's 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
So calm down.
I'm just that charismatic.
I already told the party for everyone who didn't buy a weapon when it costed that much.
Sorry.
Now
Now
that shop owner went bankrupt, and he.
No, see what happened was.
No, that was the same shop owner that gave us a 5% discount on like the.
Was it the same?
Are
I
you
thought
thinking
that
of
was
something
Alverton.
else?
I could.
You're thinking
That was
of
in Alverton.
in
Yeah.
Alverton.
Because
Yeah.
we had a few run-ins with some odd pricings with our
Yeah,
our
you're thinking of
campaign
an
here.
Alverton.
We had
Well,
the time that we
because
bought
it-
an ounce or a gram of
Oh,
food.
yes. There was a disconnect between what an ounce and what a gram is.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is like from this to about this.
Yeah, this guy only works off the metric system, so he was a little bit confused. And if you go back to that episode, you can see me getting really fucking confused. at the
I
fact
think
that
all of us were like, Larry.
Is confusion,
Are you sure?
excitement, and then like concern.
So we went through all the forms of grief.
like, I don't know who hurt you, but it shouldn't cost that much.
It was.
And
was
then
quality.
and then we had the experience in Alverton where
And
we helped bring the magic items to the.
Yeah, you
or
guys
wherever
broke
else,
your
the
backs
shop.
bringing some cargo, and she gave you a 5% discount.
That's
Yes,
what,
That's what
what
you're
it
thinking
was.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this is the one that we're talking about because
Yes.
we're all thinking
So
thinking of three different things.
in the grand scheme of things, the world balanced itself out. You got a
Well,
shitty
no,
discount.
the economy
before.
is just fluctuating.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Because where you made your money back when we were gambling it, not to jump too far ahead, but when we were gambling in the arena,
That's still the
Our-
same episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our odds were so low.
Our stakes were, why would I put 200 gold down to make?
212 gold.
Yeah.
Well, in their defense, there was no like these
had no
were all
reputation.
newcomers.
Yeah, we had
so
no
there was
reputation.
nothing to evaluate. This person has a better chance of winning over these people
Well, that's
because
not
that was
how that
everybody's first chance fighting. So it was just
the
like,
stakes change as the bets are made, though, man. You not bet on horses?
no.
I mean, he's taking into consideration that like if they're all newcomers, it's like there's
Yeah.
no point in putting a higher bounty on someone who
Exactly.
may or may not
They're
Well,
just
win.
usually they put like a maximum.
All right, we're all gonna take a lesson in economics or a class in economics next
It's
semester.
not economics.
Sorry, I
it's
don't.
gambling.
Sorry, I don't know
Gambling
anything about
economics.
gambling, and I don't know anything about drugs.
We'll all find
So-
ourselves in the black market at some point throughout
Don't
this
worry,
campaign.
we'll teach
I
you
feel
up to
assaulted,
both of those
Larry.
things. We'll teach you both of those things.
Larry, we can show you the world.
I'm here to
Shining,
teach you.
shimmering, splendid.
No, I will stay in my little box
Anyway,
and play D&D.
after we quickly get dispatched from El Matter's temple,
Fuck.
Yes, you guys went.
I believe the rest of us were in a magic shop.
yeah, they do some shopping and then
Yeah, you went getting
Mitski
some
was
herbs.
looking through a window at the magic shop.
Yeah, you went herb finding.
Oh, that's what. Yeah. I was trying to identify my douche room,
Yep, the amazing douche room.
which didn't get identified that moment.
Nope,
they
but
never
you-
saw it before.
no, but we
No.
took a
But we found it out. We put some field tests into
Yep.
it.
Yep, and it came in handy.
It certainly did.
It did. That fight was awesome. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I think we learned to balance each other out pretty well. Like we came up with a nice
Strategy.
battle strategy on the spot. So
Yeah.
that worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Finding ourselves in Bjorn's arena
Yeah.
with all those odd statues that I know nothing about.
Nobody
Sorry.
knows anything about. Maybe if we'll roll a history check eventually.
One day
I think someone
we'll
did.
find out that there's a missing statue, you know. But
I
Yeah.
don't think so. It seemed pretty complete to me.
Seems like a full set. Seems like a complete set. But
Yeah.
I think that's.
I don't know who is allowed to be saltier, you or me.
me.
You sure?
Yeah.
That campaign was a year long, man.
okay. All right.
Check the lore. We'll have a couple of lore things when we finally get our.
Oh, we should do a
World
lore
Animal?
episode.
When we finally get our world anvil, there'll be a lore
Which
section.
you were supposed to announce last recap episode.
Yeah, well,
about a month ago.
Life happens, and life sometimes throws you a curveball. You gotta-
Life does happen.
You gotta,
You're right.
You gotta,
You're 100%
you gotta
right.
take that curveball and keep going. So,
Yeah.
episode
11.
11.
12.
Yes. 11.
That was 11.
we found.
No.
Wait, we didn't finish the fight.
We got to Bindle to episode 10.
right.
Let me check.
Oh.
Episode
my notes.
11 was the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we found ourselves in Bjorn's arena.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so that was 11. Not sure.
Yeah, not a lot happened episode 11. You guys were
believe you.
adventuring and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, we leveled up at the end of episode 10.
Yes,
wait,
we
if we
did.
leveled, then I didn't have. Oh no, we leveled up again after that, didn't we?
I don't know.
In that case, episode 10 was the fight, because I did not have stunning strike during the fight.
I don't think you leveled up after the fight.
Yes, we did.
You did?
Yes,
We
yes,
did.
we did. We had leveled up at the end of the fight because we were all freaking out. We were all excited.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I heal? Do I regain all my HP when we level? And you were like, nope.
Nope.
Mitski's just
Negative.
there with an eye hanging out of his side. It's okay.
It's
I
okay.
have 4 hit points now.
You survived. You survived.
Yeah,
so far.
the fight in Bjorn's arena was extravagant. Nothing short of.
Oh, you're right. You guys did fight in that. That was episode 10.
Yeah.
Where you fought in the
know.
arena. Ooh, look at me.
Yep.
It was nothing short of wonderful there. Though no one else wanted to fight. It was just
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just me and you.
Mitski and Orys.
I think they were apprehensive about this whole thing.
Yeah, all things
Yeah.
considered, I was a little worried about the fight because I didn't know what he was gonna throw at us. He could have easily put a champion, like another champion, in the core, like he did with Novan,
Yeah.
where I just had no chance and just won by pure accident. Like,
No. Yeah.
Well,
What?
that's kind of what I was paranoid about as well.
It's
I was
always
like,
winnable. It's just, a determinant
Yeah.
of how easily winnable it is.
winnable by accident is still winnable.
I just wasn't really trying to,
Not a face stomp.
what the hell is it called? Gray was trying to maintain his secrecy. Because I already blew it the next episode. Like, immediately.
Yeah,
Because I was just like, I want to turn into a goddamn wolf when we go to the bank.
yeah.
Right? Oh my god.
You're-
How do you go from being stealthy boy to just, I'm here?
He remembered what character he was playing is what happened.
Yeah, episode
You
11.
aren't the rogue anymore, so.
Yeah, episode 11 is where you find out that Gray has a grudge against the banks, and it works out for the
Yes,
whole party.
so-
Your quest for secrecy brought you to the most public place of your own character.
I'm like a Julian Assange,
'Cause I'm
except
thinking-
for fuck Julian Assange. But
Thinking
anyways.
of now hold on, we don't want to talk about that here. This is a conversation we should have off camera. Thinking of our characters, or thinking of what you've done in this scenario is oh, I want to keep secret because you're a race that's never really been seen in the town before. People are already giving you weird looks with your hood up, and then they kind of see you and they're like, well, what? Like hiding their kids. But then you walk into
I'm like, wait, I'm 2 animals, motherfucker.
the first thing you do is walk into the church and we're here, and then immediately after you just start morphing, anamorph into.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gray
Yeah,
has
man.
spent so much time in the woods and traveling by himself that he doesn't really know how to conduct himself socially in a city. So everything he was doing, he thought was right.
Oh my God.
His heart is in the right place.
Of course, those are famous last words.
So he's socially awkward, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
Big
so,
ass.
so is there a distinguish between Gray and Ryan?
No, I do amazing.
incredibly
in
socially
social
apt.
situations.
So
He's the best at social situations.
Yes, and that's a guarantee from me.
Anyway, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves here. So we
Yes.
Bjorn arena.
Yes.
Orys and I fighting.
yeah, so you guys finished your fight.
We made
Unless
very
you want to
quick
talk about
work
that anymore.
of those.
Yeah.
Like Orys was saying, we developed a really quick battle strategy. And,
Yep. What level were they, by the way?
I'm not telling you that.
Ah.
Why
There's no
not?
level system.
We're never gonna see
There's
them
no-
again.
You might.
Oh, that rogue could
Yeah,
come
but they
after
could've-
us again.
They could have
Right.
gone up in level though, so we wouldn't know.
Yeah, I suppose.
Whatever.
What is?
Whatever.
No, what I really want to know more about is that tiefling, with the humans. Was that a tiefling that we fought in round 2? We had 3 rounds.
Yeah, 2 rounds.
We had 2 rounds.
We had 2 rounds. Yep.
Okay, then it was the tiefling with the 2 humans. She had the rapier.
Oh, the rogue squad.
Yeah, she was like a rogue.
I think
tiefling.
it was 2 fighters and a rogue.
Well, the way it was
No,
described.
that was round 1. That was round 1.
That was round 1. The way I remember it, right?
It
Because
was
we
3v2,
stole I
yeah.
stole the potions off of her.
It was
off
3v2,
of her
yeah.
first. and then we, like, just the way it seemed to me, the way I kind of pictured it from what you're describing was like she was this incredibly good fighter. And she just found 2 humans off the street, or like the Walking Dead style, where it's that I forget the character, where she has like the zombies in the chains.
Yeah, she wanted some backup, but she was willing to be by herself. But
Like at that point, she should have been. Those humans
I
didn't
didn't
do
catch
anything
that.
for her.
Yeah,
they took a couple blows
No,
for her.
'cause
That's what they did.
You described the other 2, like her 2 henchmen, as wearing like shit tattered clothing, and then she's there with 2 like nice swords and like armor and everything.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
thinking
like,
full like Walking Dead style. Like maybe she didn't pick them up off the street. Maybe she's been dragging them along with her the entire. Like these are my human slaves.
She literally
Down
walked
with
up to the
patriarchy.
arena. There's a tavern across the street from the arena, and she's like, "All right, I'm gonna find the least drunk, kind of toughest people that can fight with me for the cheapest amount of money possible."
She probably walked in there and was like, "I'll give you 10 gold. If we win, I'll give you 10 gold."
And then-
she seemed really upset that she lost. She was
Yes.
super mad.
She
'Cause
was salty as fuck.
I was trying to be nice to her. Mitski's a very friendly person, so he was trying to give her back the potion, her bag, and she was so mad.
Yeah.
She was so mean.
She was upsetty.
She wasn't ready
She
for
was
it.
upset.
Yeah.
So I suppose we made very quick work of the last round. With that natural 20 coming in clutch for those 2
Oh
rogues.
my gosh! No,
That's
no.
my favorite part about that fight.
His thing, I said it off camera, and I said I'm pretty sure I don't know if I said it on camera. I did not expect you to one shot that druid. That was supposed to be a hard fight, and you said,
Nope.
"Get out!"
There were 2 favorite parts about that fight for me, and the first one was the druid, in which the druid went bear, druid, bear, druid.
I think his second thing was a wolf, right, or something like that.
No,
right,
it
wolf.
was
Yeah.
no, it was a displacer beast.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know
Yeah,
how-
that displacer beast
Wait a
was supposed to put
second.
in some work.
You
But-
know how high of a level a druid has to be to turn into a displacer beast?
No.
Yeah,
Does it
No,
have to be a
displacer
high
beasts
level?
aren't high CR.
It's
Oh,
CR
really?
1, right?
They're CR
No,
3
CR2, because he was a
or 2 or something like
he was
that.
a moon circle druid because he had 2 wild.
He was a
shields.
moon circle.
So he
druid,
can
but,
gotcha. That's like me.
Wow.
But I think
Spoilers.
yeah.
Drink.
Come on, man.
Watch the fucking stream. That's like
Okay.
one thing that is extremely.
You could have been
easy.
Circle of Spores or something.
They only get one out.
He's also been so negative about necromancy this entire campaign.
Yeah, that is not no.
It's the one thing he couldn't have been. And then the second favorite part of that fight for me was the natural 20 where I caught the knife that the one rogue threw. I
yeah.
just yeeted it up into the sky and killed him while he was looking at it.
Oh my gosh. Nice.
Yeeted.
Good. It was a good
Yeeted.
fight.
Sorry, yoked. It's past
Yoked.
tense.
Yick.
Exactly.
Yoked.
Yeeked.
So yeah, we won. What was that? 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold. Yes, which was more money than the party had.
Oh, it was.
had.
Yeah. And we decided we needed to find a bank because
You
1,000 gold is a
definitely-
lot to
because-
carry.
Yes.
And we gained some notoriety with the
Yeah.
local folk.
Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder. We should have been the Stormwind. That was a miscommunication error, unfortunately.
In the background, we were trying to decide through text what we would call our team name. So we went through like 5 different names, and eventually we landed at Blue Thunder, because he's blue and
And you're Thunder.
And your thunder.
yeah, I'm Thunder.
Wow.
We put a lot of
Creative
thought into it.
geniuses.
Yeah, no, it was
It was on the spot. Okay, we had like 2 minutes through Discord.
yeah. Honestly, I don't expect anybody to catch that one. So I'm glad I
Yeah,
finally let
Blue.
you guys know about that.
I was mind boggled. That question has been on my mind since
Was it?
we got out of the arena.
Oh, I got you. No worries.
Now, if you thought Blue Thunder is bad, wait till we get to Talali's warband.
Yes, episode 11. Meeting with the guild.
I'm so proud of her for that.
Yeah, that was everybody's fault with that. All right.
I'm so glad she did that. It wasn't anyone's fault. She just
That was-
answered sooner than anyone could have thought.
Yes,
She just
but
went
nobody
right
corrected
into-
her.
That's
why
true.
the guild went with it
That's
because
true.
nobody corrected
We
her.
all went. Everyone went no, but Mitski was like, yeah. But everyone's like no, but no one submitted a different alternative.
Yes. So episode 11, the group finishes their time with the arena, collects the goods, and heads home for the night. In the meantime, Talali is off on her own adventure. It's because she is investigating the King Kuz.
I forgot how in depth we got into this
I know.
part.
Yes, she was investigating the
Oh my
living
God.
conditions of the King Kuz. Through some pretty darn good investigation checks, she learned that the King Kuz had lived somewhere under shitty conditions and were employed by this woman to work for her in exchange for better living conditions. On the surface, it sounded like a pretty good deal, but Talali uncovered that they
I was gonna
were
say that.
technically
I'll
allowed
take
to
the mantle of
leave.
being that guy.
Sorry. They were technically allowed to leave, but like it wasn't a likely situation. Even if they wanted to leave, it wasn't likely. So, deciding to rectify the situation, she went through the city's legal systems.
She
Found.
put her little bird detective cap
Yeah,
on.
she
Yeah.
did a
She
good
fucking
job.
went through it.
If I was there, or I'm very proud of her. Mitski was very proud of her, but like
Yeah.
he's kind of sad that he missed the opportunity to be detective.
But she went through, found out what would be illegal in the city of Bindle.
I think that was a natural 20 to read that book. So like,
It was-
Mitski
she got
couldn't
some-
read books that fast.
She
He
got
would've
a
been little
pretty
stuck
good
there.
like understanding of the
Yeah.
legal system in Bindle, and she was able to learn that
Slavery is a thing.
is a thing, but it's not called slavery; it's called free labor.
Right.
Of course.
And
Why would they call it the
if
bad
she
thing?
if she looked more into it, she would get more information on it. But free labor is a thing, but it is limited up to 7 individuals for free labor, which was an interesting little bluff she went through there. But she then went on an attempt to frame her of obtaining illegal poisons.
Oh my god. That was the meanest.
Did she manage to get them?
No,
She
it was like
found
4,000
them.
gold.
She
She
found
found
them.
them,
She
but
could
it
not
was too
afford
expensive.
them.
She couldn't afford them.
Like
because
that tiny little vial was
Yes.
like 4,000 gold.
it wasn't. No, it was like 600 or something like that. But you know,
Yeah,
you're in the
because
black
she-
market.
She
You're
immediately came back to us and tried to ask us for money. And
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
she
That's a
didn't.
terrible
Because she
fucking
didn't-
idea.
because she didn't have the funds for it. But and one, it's the black market, so everything's skyrocketed to the highest price. 2, she's a new customer, so they don't know who she is, what she's here for. They don't know anything, so they can figure they're gonna charge her whatever the hell they want. And so it's whatever.
I expected
And
an
yeah.
almost death there because that whole tavern was like staring at her very
Yes,
uncomfortably.
yeah. For one, yeah, no one in there had ever seen an Aarakocra, so they don't know what the hell just walked through those doors in the first place.
Oh, okay. I didn't even consider that. I'm just thinking
Yeah,
like this
that-
whole
yeah.
tavern is part of this guild.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
like she
no.
walks in and every single one of them are like, "Oh, hi, you're gonna die." You know that, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
Like, I'd like
basically.
to buy illegal things, and they're like, "Stop."
No, like Bindle
Yeah.
is like
Bindle's
the
racist.
the upper class is part of the guild for the most part.
Yeah,
Like,
they,
if
you
you're
can.
a
You can
skilled
yeah, she was
person,
able to
yeah.
see. You guys were able to tell from like walking around. Bindle's separated into the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, and that's where she went to find
Mm-hmm.
the poison was the lower class section. But that didn't work out so well, so she went and rejoined the party on that adventure. In the morning, you guys came and took a trip to the National Bank of Bindle. Saw their little financial system at work. Gray, through some investigation skills of his own.
You know,
Ooh.
that might have been another natural
Ooh.
20 of ours.
Always
did
read
it.
the fine. Always read it because I'm not putting
Yes.
more than $1,000 in that I'm getting insured.
1,000 what?
because- 1,000 gold.
There you go.
And that I'm getting insured because that was insane. There is
Well, you know, I mean, what are the odds that the National Bank of Bindle get broken in and they'll steal
the
your money
way that it was stated makes it
In a
very.
world.
in a world?
What about Ithryl?
I mean,
Ithryl alone could have robbed that bank.
you don't know, man. That seemed pretty. There was like at least 30 guards. while you were
We
just
should do
there.
a one shot
So.
where we're all rogues trying to break into that bank. Because that would be funny as shit.
I mean, you can certainly try.
We all
So-
level 10 rogues. We got this. As long as we have the hell is it called?
Evasion?
Expertise and
Oh.
expertise and evasion. We're good.
Yeah, so you deposit it
That'd be fun.
through some good negotiations. The majority of you got your own little personal bank bags.
Majority?
One, two. Those of you who went, got your own little bank bags.
Oh, just two. Of us,
Two.
right? Yeah.
No,
Oh, no,
one,
you got
two,
one too.
three.
I got-
I
we
believe
all got
Talali
them for
got
free.
one as well.
Oh, Talali got one?
I believe she got one as well. but
I
I'm
don't.
Not sure. I'm not sure. Watch the video.
I'm not
We'll ask Ross.
We'll ask. You can ask her. Watch the video. Whatever works.
But it's not like
Um,
Mitski could carry his own damn bag. So, Orys got 2 bags, is what
Yes.
happened.
I got 2.
Yes. Following that, you guys made your way over to the guild and met up with a couple of your fans along the way.
Oh, we were signing autographs.
Made you and through some unfortunate customer service, a few of you were let down with the service of the guild with
Oh,
newcomers.
yeah.
There are 8 guilds? 7.
8.
So I got massive sword with a medallion hilt. I got
Oh, I
rod.
don't
Do we?
know what's
Can
it
you
called.
tell us the names or not?
Off the top of my head, hell no.
I have some of the names written down. It's just I don't have that.
Got a great sword with a red tear.
Dude,
That is the Blood Knights.
The Blood Knights.
The
Oh,
Blood
those
Knights
are
of
the
Bimbo.
assholes.
Then an axe and sword clashing.
You described them as douchebags.
I mean, that's an opinion.
Remember
The
that was
accents.
the time I rolled a 3 on the percentile dice, and you were like, "These guys are douchebags."
Yeah, those 2 guys were douchebags. I mean, all of them might not be douchebags. I mean, your guys' favorite member, it was from is the leader of the Blood Knights.
Our favorite.
No, actually, no.
Our
She's the
favorite
leader
leader
of
is
the
a member of the soldiers.
The war song.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, the war song.
Wait, who is their favorite?
The guy with the big broadsword.
That's not our favorite.
No, our
That's
favorite.
right.
We
I
hated
know.
him.
I know.
Oh, he's being sarcastic.
Yes, I know.
No, but he is a Blood Knight
Is he a Blood
He's a
Knight or a
Blood
War
Knight.
Yeah, he's a
Song?
Blood
I don't
Knight.
know. He's one of those.
He's
I
the
don't know.
War Song?
I'll look it up.
because he carries a big ass sword too.
Yep.
No, he's a member of the Warsong Dragons because he's a Dragonborn. Well, not because he's a Dragonborn, but he's
That's
also
racist.
a Dragonborn.
That is
That's
very racist.
literally racist. Wow.
However,
I can't believe
I'm
you.
not incorrect.
Can't believe you.
And what was because the ones what was it the Mystic something? Mystics.
The Mystics.
The Mystics were the down of the luck ones that we
No.
kind of liked the most, wasn't it?
No.
it was the Broken Sword.
The Broken Sword
The
one.
Broken
but
Sword.
That's not the name. I believe their name is the Outcast or something like that. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. There's
The
something.
Broken Swords. Last Hope. The Last Hope.
The
Last
Last Hope.
Hope, there
the
we go.
Last Hope.
Wow,
yeah,
I
Last
just
Hope.
wow, what a mean name to give them.
Yeah.
I just got there.
Yeah, they're the Last Hope.
I think of, like the Warsong Dragons and the Mystics and all the other kills just lying dead in the field. It's like the Last Hope guys. They don't even know how to carry a sword.
Hey, ooh,
Hey.
that could be foreshadowing. Oh.
So,
we figured this out, guys.
We broke this
All right, guys, have a great night. Next campaign, we're gonna go ahead and
The Last Resort. Perfect. The Last Resort.
the last resort.
Their whole lives were cut to pieces.
Yes, you guys made your way over to the guild, had your little interrogation where you explained your side of the story.
Yep.
To your surprise, the guild had a sort of necromancer at their disposal who was capable of reanimating the dead corpse of the druid and getting his side of the story as well. Through the process of the interrogation, you guys learned that the gem that Lockhart had such a fascination with, and that was a bit of a root of quite a bit of trouble.
Literally most of the trouble.
Yeah, was in fact a treant heart. Hearing this, a couple of them grew more fascinated, but you guys were out of questions.
This is when Gray gave up and lost his shit.
Yeah, pretty much. It was in fact a treant heart, and a couple of members grew far more fascinated with the situation than prior. But being out of questions, the guild, the necromancer lets you guys know that they had 10 days before they could question the body again. And the guild requested that in 10 days' time, should they need you, you return.
Yep.
Initially, you guys were sort of forced to stay in Bindle, but through the aid of a friend.
What's her name again?
Nimrod.
Oh, did you forget her name?
Huh? Oh, I always forget her name. I have it written down on a sticky note just because I always forget her name. But through the aid of a friend, negotiations were made to where you guys would have access, free reign to leave and go as you please.
As long as we came back.
As long as, should the situation arise, they call upon you, you return. But you, as for now, you will be free to come and go as you please.
I don't think I've ever been more excited, not even just in a campaign of D&D, but my entire life, than when you were vaguely describing her walking in the door, and it clicked in my head, and I was like,
What a boring life.
what?
Okay, so are we done by the way?
Yeah, that was where the episode ended when she said you guys can. Oh no, my bad. Sorry, one thing I forgot. They discussed that you can leave, and upon leaving the guild, Mitski,
Give her big hug.
you were questioned as to why the guild members were unable
yeah.
to. The guild apparently has a sort of tracking mechanism to keep tabs on everyone who enters, but for whatever reason, they were unable to track you and Hope.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that was where the episode ended.
Yeah. That was scary. That was you took all this excitement and you built it up for me, and
Yes.
I'm telling you, like, my heart dropped to like the bottom of my stomach when Nimra walked in, and I was like, oh, I'm so happy. And then you brought this up, and I was like, oh God, oh no. It didn't even occur to me as a human being, like as a person, that Bindel is such a big city that they would be tracking us.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you spoke those words to me, I remembered that you made us make a roll when we entered the city.
Yeah.
And I forgot all about that until just that moment. And I was like, oh no.
We made a roll.
You made a roll when you entered the guild, not the city. But
Okay.
Oh, was it?
yeah, when you entered the
Fuck,
guild, you made
that's-
a roll. You don't know what that roll was for. Shut up.
And we all
Ray is
failed it?
upset about that.
Except them too.
I don't know.
Gotcha. All right. Well, no. What I was gonna ask is, who the hell is Nimrod?
So, am I allowed to talk about, like, backstory? Like, all the way backstory?
I think you
think-
mentioned it.
I
briefly,
think, yeah,
but-
in game you discussed it.
So,
And yeah.
okay, you're right. So, Mitski grew up very, like, when his power was first discovered, he was very looked down upon, and like, just no one in the town liked him because it was this whole thing where he's basically cursed. He has this curse where he can't even pick up the mantle of his family business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're counting on him to do that, right? Because they're gonna get old and die, and he's the only child. And so he was bullied by his peers. He was bullied by the adults. He was bullied by even his parents, who weren't necessarily happy with him anymore because of the way he is. And through some events, there was an attack on the city, and Nimra just happened to be a passing by adventurer at the time.
Okay.
Who
Was she already affiliated with the guild?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't believe she was, or neither does Mitski, I suppose. And she assisted the town in destroying this creature with her, magic weapons and whatnot. And the rest of the city kind of came up to her individually and was like, "Hey, watch out for this one person because you use magic and your weapons are magic, and this kid is the Antichrist."
The antithesis of magic.
And she was just very curious because who has ever heard? No one's ever heard of something like that before. So she made it her. She went and found him, and through just some heart to heart, convinced him that it's not a curse. It's something that should be revered. Exactly. And Mitski decided that was his time to leave. And so she was the one who kind of brought him out of this ridiculous slump of bullying and just hatred.
Being okay with being bullied.
Yeah, like
or
being an
letting it happen.
outcast. And that's Yeah,
Well,
so-
luckily you ran into
the
the party full of misguided characters.
So yeah, he went most of the campaign until these past few episodes, like, scared to death about anyone finding out his power.
Yeah, I think the only two characters in our party that have like the actual like purest good hearts are open to Talali. They're the only and well Mitski now.
I don't know about Talali.
Yeah,
I don't
mean,
know about
I know the Jess, the human player, is maybe pure of heart,
When
but
Jess has her time on the recap episode, don't call it a recap. She can go into that. So
just based off the backstory that she's told us about like wanting to kill most humans.
I feel like she's.
That's
I
true.
Like
Oh,
if I had to put
Shit, I did forget about that.
if I had to
forget
put a
back everything.
if I had to put like a purity level of our characters, I think I would put Mitski on the top, considering
Well,
he's
yeah,
yelled
I
at
would.
you guys for killing people the entire campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I love Tony as a person. I hate Mitski as a character. Gray is not
happens.
about that shit.
it happens every day.
I had to make someone who's, because
Does-
everyone always, there's murder hobos running around, but like, what if there was someone who just didn't want to kill anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not out for just cold-blooded murder, but as soon as somebody attacks Gray, like his instinct as like surviving on his own
Yeah.
for so long,
Those
is
animal
to-
instincts kick
is
in.
to no, just like if they're gonna try to kill me, I'm gonna kill them first.
Yeah.
Because fuck that.
And now I have like in
I
my
also
in my
forget
head
Mitski is what?
14.
Yeah, okay. Always forget that.
I think you keep bringing that age down every time we talk about
No.
it. I'm pretty sure you started at like
I'm
16,
gonna be honest.
17.
In my head, I started at 16. When we first talked about it in
Okay.
episode 0, it was 16.
Yeah.
But when we got into the real game, into the campaign, I was like, oh, it'd be much better to bring it down
Would
to
it?
14.
We're just
Would
walking
it?
around with this boy.
You're a pretty strong
So-
14-year-old.
Yeah, well, he had to learn to fight really quickly because of the
Yeah.
people in his town.
And granted, by chance, your first fights versus your more recent fights, you have been way more effective.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think
know if that's
the
completely
roles
on
are
purpose.
ironically
Yeah.
tying into story
That's what I was
development
saying.
really,
I don't know if
really
it's
well.
like.
Yeah.
if
That's
it's-
really funny.
When wait, are you sure about that? Because I remember the first episode, I had crazy rolls. I was rolling natural 20s like left and right. I had
That's
at least
see,
3
that,
in the
that,
first
that was
episode.
adrenaline, life or death situation. You
Yeah.
were locked up in a
True.
cell.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And, ever since
I
then.
think we all rolled pretty decently in the first episode, and then since then it's just been
Oh my god!
great.
Don't
or
talk about my rolls
horrible.
after the first episode.
Yeah.
Dude, I now
Just
have
moonbeam.
I have a playlist that
remember
we
when
I have
I
a
was moonbeaming
playlist
myself?
on the audio called Talali and Mitski, just because of you
We're
guys'
waiting on it.
roles.
We're
Also,
waiting
yeah,
on it.
if anybody that watches the stream, I think it was episode maybe 3 or 4.
We were fighting the goblins.
No, episode 3 or 4, when you were riding the pig, and
Oh,
Talali
yeah.
was flying next to us, and I was leading it. If you could draw Gray leading a pig with Mitski on top and Talali flying over it,
Yo,
I will pay for it.
To
Like,
Lolly
I'll-
with the most sorrowful face because she convinced this pig that it was our friend now.
right?
Oh
And
my
it was a
God.
young. It wasn't even like an adult pig. It was a young pig.
Was it really?
Oh yeah. Also, technically, we have like
No, that got stolen.
30 pounds
that
of
got,
salt.
That got stolen.
That got stolen too.
Oh,
That
shit.
was that
Well,
was with
I
the
mean-
pig
Turn
stuff.
off. Just turn off.
That's better than nothing, considering like I keep looking at my inventory on D&D Beyond and everything every once in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to. I wrote in 60 pounds of salt on. Is this Mitski and Talali?
Yeah, be happy I don't do like weight carrying limits because it's a pain in the ass. But yeah,
It is.
60
It
pounds.
is.
So well, we had it in a chest.
huh?
We did it in a chest. We put it all in a chest.
Yeah,
We put it all in
But
a
that
chest.
was also, in my
Stolen.
opinion, that was something that came with my starter equipment. But then like makes
60
no
pounds
sense.
of salt.
No.
60 sounds of salt. did
No,
not
I
come
bought
with your
the
starter
salt, but I had a chest in my starting equipment,
Okay.
and that's where he was like,
I mean, does it say what size chest? Because a chest could be like a small little thing
it didn't
too.
say, but
Okay.
we used it to store what was left of the pit.
If we
Yeah.
brought in a weight carrying limit, I think that I may be the strongest because it's Constitution or Strength.
Strength.
Oh no, then I'm not. Okay. No,
Oh, yeah.
There's one person who's stronger than me. I think it's yours, isn't it?
I don't think so. My strength is like 13 or 14.
I
My
don't-
strength
what's
is
the
a
modifier?
flat 10.
I think it might
well,
be
it's a flat 10 now. It started off as a
might be
9.
Ithryl.
Jesus.
It might be Ithryl. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Ithryl has a either a 1 or 2. I know.
I'm
I
not sure.
have a 1 for sure. And
Tall,
we-
dark, and smoky. We gotta get him on the next recap. I want to get him talking more on stream.
It's a rotating cast.
Yes.
Oh
So-
yeah. What
so,
else?
So what was your guys' take on the guild members and their surprising guest?
The little boy, I don't trust him.
What?
I don't trust him
I
at
don't
all.
trust
The
either.
Lord of Death.
No, not them. Not the Earn Brothers. The Earn Brothers are fine as far as I'm concerned.
Some of my
I'm talking
favorite-
about the boy who asked us about the scrying.
Oh yeah,
That's not a boy. I don't think
that was a boy.
that was a
As a
boy.
boy.
That was a boy.
Yeah, you wait. Was he the one who's described with the cover? His face almost
Yep.
completely covered.
His
I'm
face
imagining-
completely covered. All you see is these blue eyes looking at you.
Yep. I've been playing gang. What's that called? Gang Beasts.
Gang
Uh-huh.
beast.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm thinking of with the little fox hood on, and you can't see anything but his eyes, and he's like running around.
I mean,
Good theory.
it's
Moving on.
Standard.
Moving on. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. I found them fine. I mean, somebody has to be that weirdo, right?
Yeah.
And they have a purpose. So
Yes.
I
The
just
Earn
have to
Brothers.
be-
Orys ended up learning something from it, so that's cool.
I
Yeah.
have to be consistent with that Gray totally fucking hates reanimating corpses in any form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last episode, 14, something like that went down. So I was gonna ask you about that, but
That's a
we'll
jump.
get to
That's
it
a jump.
after 14.
Spoilers? Spoilers? Does that
No.
count?
No, not really.
No,
We'll talk about it.
We're in episode 14.
Yeah. I thought that the guild was overly political or overly concerned about perception and how people see them.
Well, if you guys are, because I wrote this down in Gray's notebook. What's it called? Remember the town crier when we first got in there, episode 10?
Yeah.
Was it episode 10?
I think it was 10.
9 or 10?
Yeah, that was him, because that's when we fought.
But yeah, the town crier was like the king just got ousted from
Yeah.
Bindle, or the Bindelian Empire. So I think, to me, the guild is doing their best to hold power and not have somebody else ascend to it. So
I appreciate you
looks
I
for
mean,
remembering that.
They're all worried. They're all worried.
well, it's not that they're worried, they're hesitant. They don't want to look shitty. You know, they don't want the people looking for something else, because technically, I don't know, this is just me reading into your lore, but like technically it's like they're already in place. They should be the next succession. But the only thing that is stopping them is a party of good-hearted adventurers.
So you think they're trying to coup the
There's no coup to be had. They're just trying to move into the power back.
How did we stop them from? How are we stopping them potentially?
We'll figure
Potentially
it
from
out.
gaining
That's
power.
what Gray is trying to.
I-
Gray does not trust the guild at all.
I don't think we're in the way of them gaining power. I think that
Not yet.
not yet. That's fair. But they could. I mean, we could easily be a threat. We could be a threat in no time for sure.
Gray.
No, we're no
Gray just
threat.
does.
we have no claim,
Gray
we have no
doesn't like the
power,
guilds.
we have no
This is pure speculation
Yeah.
on my part.
There's something There's something that makes me uneasy about the way that the guilds are run. The individual guilds are run with no clear leader. And now like
there is a clear leader of each one.
there's a leader of each one, but then
there's a speaker.
between
Yeah,
between
and
all of
every-
them,
In every single one of the guilds, there are 8 guilds. Each of them has their leader, but there's no leader of all of them. Like the guild itself.
yeah, there's no head of the guilds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I picked up at all from our conversations. Because whenever we're talking about, you're with the little boy specifically, it was like, you're the head of the blah 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 guild, and he's like, well, I'm one of them. One of the heads.
He's
of the
he's
guild.
one of the higher ups.
Higher ups,
Yeah.
right? So, but why aren't the leaders in the meeting? Is what I in that case would be
yeah.
curious.
They might
about.
have not cared enough because
Fair.
it seemed to me until they found out it was a treant heart. A lot of the people who were there didn't even care. They were just there to be like
Yeah.
to be a body there to sit. So I think that's what happened. There was a couple of their leaders though. That one lady,
The lady in front was the leader.
the lady in the front, I think is
Was one of the
the
leaders.
de facto leader. She's not officially I don't think.
I didn't care for her at all, actually. The way she was presented, the way she was like, she kind of spoke over us, tried to twist our words. Like, she really seemed to be against us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she was trying to find out if we were being honest. She was being hard, obviously, but
There was a specific point I wish I could
Well,
remember.
she was trying to like play our party against each other, depending
That's-
on
yeah.
what we said, you know, and that's why, as soon as I saw them bringing back the other druid, I was like, I'm not gonna say a fucking word.
Which I'm glad he didn't, because he what's his name, really kind of took us out of that dead body. Oh God, Lockhart
Yeah.
really took us out of the blame for the most part, because we were able to, first of all, they were able to ask him anything. Now, he can't lie.
not Lockhart. You're
But he
thinking of
can-
What
Lohan.
the
Lohan.
corpse?
Lohan,
The
yeah.
corpse.
Yeah, the corpse can. I believe if I read the spell correctly,
It can lie.
It can lie.
It can?
It can't learn anything
It
new.
can't learn new information, but it can lie.
It can lie. Yes.
I thought it can't lie, but it cannot say stuff.
Yeah.
It can omit anything
I
and
can
not
look that up
answer.
right now.
No,
Wait
it
a minute.
We're not technically playing.
It
so
can't
it's not
lie.
meant
I
to
know
be.
that
Oh,
for
maybe
sure.
I'm thinking of the spear truth.
You're yeah, I
Spear
think you're
truth?
thinking of that.
Spear truth.
No, you're thinking of the
Zone of truth.
zone of
Zone of
truth
truth.
where you can not say anything.
Yeah.
So you can deny to talk.
And you can mislead information, but you can't direct lie.
No.
I don't think you can mostly.
Because
You can be, as far as you know, you can say that much.
Right, and
Yeah.
of course your memory.
Yeah,
is
you
not
guys,
bad. It's
you
my
guys
favorite fifth
specifically
level
asked the head of the guild. I believe Gabriel or one of them
I
brought it
did.
up. You brought it up, like, why don't you use the zone of truth? And she said, we don't use the zone of truth because it's not reliable. People have their truth. That doesn't make it the truth.
Yeah.
And there are ways around a zone of truth as well, and memory alterations and stuff like that.
spell. Also, anti-magic people.
Yeah, anti-magic people.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So,
But yeah. I didn't think. I thought most of them were just doing their job. Some of them are complete power trips, and some of them.
I feel like some of them do not take their leadership roles seriously at all.
The head of
Maybe
the War
not.
Song Dragons bothers me. That guy who's following us.
Yep.
Like, obviously, he posed a really weird, not weird, but a really important threat when he wasn't fighting, and then later tried to throw us under the bus.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, he wasn't even. I don't know if you remember. He wasn't even in the meeting.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
So,
We ended up seeing him when we were leaving.
He was following us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we didn't know his name necessarily, so we couldn't call him out in
Yeah.
the meeting.
Yeah.
I think that would be like a strategic move for him, like not being there on purpose.
Yeah, it's almost kind of a power move. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm so important, I don't have to show up while you guys get basically hung by your own actions.
Yep.
Now, thinking about it, I'm like going back to when we finished that fight in Alverton with all the spiders and whatnot. The head of the it was the head of the Last Hope, who pulled us all aside and offered us guild membership.
Yeah, we were like.
And we said no, but then as soon as we got into the town and discovered that you can only like eat for free, stay for free, get all these cool things if you were a member of the guild, it just today occurred to me that we could have said yes, and then we would have gotten free food, awesome magic items, we would have gotten
They
everything.
would have.
Maybe.
So,
I think we're still better off not.
Gray is
I
still
agree.
a little apprehensive about joining any group.
Oh, I wouldn't want to join anything
This
for
is
sure.
a tentative party in his mind still. You know.
Yeah. So Orys is used
You guys
to
have only known each other 2 weeks, 3.
If we
about
started with a
3 or
calendar.
4 weeks, I think. 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Still
kind
strangers,
of
technically.
the kind of mentality that Gray has, at least, is that like we are all stuck here in this situation together, so we might as well stick around. But like slowly, it's becoming more of a cohesive group. You know.
Makes sense.
Fair. You guys
Yeah.
are family to me. You're the only people who understand me.
That's because you're.
Yeah.
Orys is used to from where he's from. He's used to. He comes from this kingdom that has 1, maybe 2 large cities, and then everything else is just small, spread out villages all over the mountains. So coming to a big city like Bindle, which is he's never been to anything
Yeah.
that big, or
Well,
even to the ocean.
Well, it's the same, similar with Gray and the fact that like the tribe that I was with, the clan that I was in.
Okay.
If you're not the firstborn son
I finished
from
looking
your
up, speak with
parents, every secondborn son or thirdborn son gets cast out into the world to either bring back knowledge for the clan or to die and not be a problem of the clan.
So is that why there's not that many tabaxi?
Yeah. Well, I
Pretty
mean,
much.
yeah, that's why there's not that many.
Because
at
they
least
stay
from my
together,
clan.
and
Yeah.
only the rare third or fourthborns
Yeah,
are.
I was sent to get knowledge of the outside world for the clan, but after about
Wow. This sort of backstory stuff's supposed to go out in game, by the way.
oh shit, all right then.
Spoilers.
Come on now.
Gray's not talking anymore.
Gosh.
I don't know. I didn't write my backstory.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, back to episode
So-
12.
So, yes, that was a part. I think if there's nothing else we want to discuss about the guild and stuff,
Yeah.
you had finished speaking with the guild. The rest of you guys, following that, had decided you were going to go back to the Sleepy Bird and discuss your plan of action to moving ahead.
Yeah, this all happened in the sphere in the tiny hut.
Yes,
So I was not
Gabriel-
privy to any of it.
Yes, Gabriel had set up a tiny hut inside of the Sleepy Bird where you guys could discuss plan of action freely without any peering eyes or ears listening. And Mitski and his friend sat on the side catching up. You guys decided that you would make the best of a bad situation and look around town for any jobs that offered funds payment. After deciding to stick together, half of you went to check with the local military to see if they had any jobs for hired swords, and the rest went out and looked for on the request board.
Yep.
I was really just trying to get that initial ship job, but then they told us no.
Yeah, yes, for some unknown
Like,
reasons.
oh, you're not ready for that, son.
Yeah, for some unknown reasons, even to Nimra's
Recommendation,
confusion. You guys weren't offered the ship job, and were instead requested to figure out what is going on with the local lizard clan, lizard folk clan, who had been seemingly in distress. So they offered you 600 gold per person to figure that out and report back. You metagamingly immediately accepted and decided to meet up with the rest of the party. The rest of the party, through some very bad investigation rolls, didn't find anything of interest on the board, but noticed that you were indeed being followed or watched by one of the heads of the guild, but shrugged it off and reunited with each other. After deciding on a plan of action, you decided to leave town and pursue the quest given to you. Leaving town, you...
Wait, yeah.
I don't know.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, okay.
Sorry.
So after leaving town, you eventually found the river and followed it until you found the corpse of a lizard folk that
Yep.
you were told about. Going through its corpse, you found a necklace and no clear sign of why it died. Continuing on, you went and...
It's been a long time trying to destroy the necklace, no?
Yes.
I'm still
Not the
working on it.
Yeah,
necklace.
we all tried to
no,
destroy
it's not
that
the
necklace.
necklace I'm talking about.
Oh,
Is
shit.
the necklace you
Yeah.
found on the new lizard folk. You found he had an interesting necklace. Put it back on him. Wrapped up the body and took him with you. But that night you all encountered, or Mitski, you encountered.
That was
I
a
skipped
natural
over a
20.
couple. I skipped over a couple things actually. The night prior, you guys had nightmares.
Right, and that was my first nightmare.
Not that one, but the one
was the one
prior.
after.
The night prior, you guys encountered a nightmare where you all, or a couple of you, had made your way through some disturbing town and arrived at the entrance of a place known as Aklis Prison, seeing the horrible situation there.
I should really go back to writing things down
Yeah.
because
Why did they all start with A's?
I don't know.
I'm keeping like 4 pages worth of notes for every session.
My secret is watch the episode before I get to the session.
It's like 8 hours.
You had seen, to your surprise, in the dream of Ackles prison, that Mitski's friend was being condemned to a crime that she supposedly did not commit. Yes. Attempting to get in contact with her, you had learned that she had already been sent out on another mission and attempted to communicate with her in any way that you could.
She responded aptly.
Yes. Continuing on, that night, Mitski, for the first time, you had encountered one of your dreams, where you as well were in. Actually, you didn't know it was the prison, but judging from your surroundings, you surmised that was it. And you yourself,
from the one side.
Yeah. You yourself was being condemned to for a crime that you knew nothing of, and were dropped into a pit where you found what you could surmise as the remains of your friend.
Of your
it
what?
gives me the shivers.
Friend.
Numera.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's why I woke up in such a panic.
Yes.
I didn't catch that part.
Oh man, that was intense.
yeah.
That was not a fun moment for me or Mitski. That's why I woke up in like actual full panic attack.
Yes. Waking up, you guys, each of you attempted to dispel and get rid of the magic on this necklace, but unfortunately,
through
the
some party
powers
fighting.
at bay were entirely too powerful, and you were unable to. Deciding the best course of action would be to leave the necklace with Mitski, where it had as minimal effect as possible. But that was where that episode ended.
I say
Except
we
for
just sell it.
while you were, that's an option.
It would find its way
while
back
you
to
were
us.
while you were
Don't
resting.
sell it again.
Oh wow, that's a good. Come to think of it, we make a lot of money like that.
While you were resting, Mitski was focusing on the necklace, and at the last moment realized that there were 4 spears pointing at him.
Yes.
Yeah, that was another really quick fight.
Yeah, so
Yes.
That was a
we
fun episode.
Made quick work of
We
them.
we tried really hard to not fight those lizard folk.
Yeah, real quick though. Why didn't you let me go see the ocean, dude?
It wasn't me. It was not just me.
It was you,
It
though.
was
It
kind
was
of-
you.
let
Now-
the,
I was
the man
trying-
wanted to see the sea.
I said multiple
Maybe
times.
it's part of my story.
I said
Maybe.
I said
Is there?
multiple times we can go to the dock and see the sea. Multiple
It
times.
turned
I
into
said
this
that.
weird thing where you were like, "Oh, I want to see the ocean. We've never seen it before," and you were like, "No, we need to go to the church." And then all of a sudden, through
I
a
was
little
just
bit of
like,
argument,
okay. I was like, okay, let's go. And then
and
you were
then
like,
you were
nah.
like, "No, we're not going anymore."
was-
It
was
turned into
very
this.
much
Yes,
a girlfriend
sweat.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It was
At
cute.
some point, you guys switched and stopped each other from doing what you wanted to do.
I
It's
get-
Fuck. No.
I don't
Fine,
care
we're
anymore.
Not going anymore.
I promise I'll take Orys to the sea. as
But we
soon
did
as
see it, we
get
did
back.
go.
Yes, you guys went to
You
the
saw
docks.
it.
Yep,
You
and it was
got very
fine.
brief- Yeah, very brief.
We
I'm sorry.
we didn't get anything. We didn't get any backstory if that was.
You pulled a Mason.
I had a bunch of fish.
You pulled a Mason.
Yes, you guys saw the docks of Bendel were absolutely
Oh, wow.
massive. Huh?
No, just talking about his
Yeah.
his re-
The massive docks of Bendel, larger than most of the cities. The dock itself was larger than most of the cities that you guys have been in, so that was quite a sight to see. But from the docks, you could also see the cliffs that
In the
over.
prison, right?
You could see the yes.
A prison.
What was
A
it?
prison.
It was in,
It's
it
a
starts with
prison.
an N. I can't think of the name. I have it written down.
I don't know.
It's
Novak.
No, Novan was my friend. Novan is my friend. Nimra is my person. Is my other friend. It starts with an N or an M.
How many friends do you need, dude?
I only have 2.
Hurts.
What?
Meanwhile, the party. Ow.
You guys are family. It doesn't count.
But yes,
What's
you
it
saw
called?
the prison. You saw the
Doesn't matter.
castle
I've
of
written
Bendel.
We'll find
That's
out.
all that matters. Is I can see it when I go home.
Yeah.
Morna,
Talali.
Morna.
Talali. I'm gonna say yeah.
No, it definitely is.
Talali partook in some of the exotic fish, which was absolutely delicious.
I got regular fish because
Because you basic.
Because I'm basic and I learned produce flame, so I could just hold.
That was the only reason you wanted to go look for this fish.
I was trying to feed the party. I was trying to be generous.
You're like, I want to show up.
I felt bad for ripping Orys from the sea.
Orys was pouting at that point.
You really will.
Mitski, you guys managed to make it to the Amada Temple.
Not without being followed.
Yes.
Oh,
They were some random thugs.
That was
That's literally what
That
it
was a really big party tension moment, actually.
It was really
Escape.
funny.
We didn't want to escape, though. You
I
were
was
the only
behind.
one.
Like no matter, I was behind the screen, and I was just like, they saw you spend a lot of money. They want the money. It's just random thugs. But I was just like, let's figure out what happens here.
Yeah.
I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's leave. Why are you always trying to talk to people?
You were the only person who didn't want to, who knew that they were irrelevant to the story.
Yeah.
The rest of us were like, let's go talk to them. Oh, of
See,
course,
'cause
Mitski always wants to talk to
You would have
everyone.
gone up and talked
Orys
to
is
him.
always ready to throw down
You
the
would-
hammer.
He
Yeah.
would
Well,
have.
that was. I didn't want to talk to them, and I didn't want to fight them, so I threw up a fog cloud, and we ran away. It was
Call
that
it a day.
easy. It was. That's all that encounter had to
It was
be.
just, it was double negative for me because, like, Tony wants to fight in the campaign, and Mitski
Yeah.
wants to talk to everyone in the campaign. So you were like, let's do neither of those
Let's
things.
let's
Like, please, though.
skip this cutscene.
Yeah, so, but
It
we did
happens.
get away from them very
Yes.
quickly, very efficiently.
You met up. You made your way back to Amada Temple, and you met up with a very sassy matron of Amada,
Now
known
she,
as Dacia.
I have a bone to pick with her, but it wasn't even her fault. It was the dice because
Yeah.
I was trying to get her attention when I was first there.
Yeah.
And like she
Yes,
was
it's
so,
so
low.
funny. She, I intentionally gave her the shittiest of perceptions.
It's like a grand priestess of a god, and
Because-
your perception is that
Because
bad.
she doesn't want that job. She made it very
Yeah.
known she doesn't want that job.
Well, you shouldn't have lived for so long.
She's just like, holy crap! I've been waiting here for so long. This damn god won't let me leave.
Can you
Let
imagine?
me die already.
Can you imagine being like picked of a god against your will?
Yeah.
And you're like, all I want to do is die, but every time you try to die,
Well, that makes like
no.
the best good-hearted servant if they don't really want the job. People that want jobs end up doing them.
Corruption.
Yeah, they get corrupt. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's hilarious. She didn't care if y'all drank in the temple. She didn't care if you
Oh yeah,
smoked.
we were smoking.
Someone's
fucking
like
joints
someone
in
brought
this-
out someone brought out a joint and she lit it for them.
Yeah,
She
that
did
was-
not care.
Me and Gabriel were smoking
Yeah.
joints in the temple.
Yeah, she did. You guys reached. Gabriel reached in the bag of holding, pulled out wine. She was just like, "Oh, thanks, I forgot about that." She
Oh, that bag of holding. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll
Yes.
get there.
But yes, you met up. She lets you know she's been waiting for you.
Yeah,
She had-
I'm a little salty about
yeah,
that. Still. She outed me.
She had an interesting interaction with Ithryl.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that fortunately another
Nobody
person,
caught on.
one other person in the party spoke the
she
language.
doesn't talk.
And I was
she
like,
doesn't talk.
yes,
Damn it.
I knew it too. I was just like,
I feel like she's collecting information.
I love it.
She's
I
a
love
spy.
it.
She's a spy, just collecting information.
She's the one who introduced that necklace to us.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you, Hope.
She's the bad. She's the
Necklace
secret
came out
bad guy.
known. Yeah.
Little did you know, Hope was the main villain all along.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
So it was great. It was great.
Yeah,
But
and then
she
Dacia
gave you
outed me.
yes, Dacia. She gave 0 fucks. She was like, I am not waiting any longer.
Yeah.
So she
How
gave,
long has she been waiting for me to show
Oh.
up at that temple? You're not allowed to tell
At
us.
least one day.
You can ask her.
At least
At
one
least
day.
a day. At least a day.
Well, you know
I've
what?
been here
I'd
for
love to
30
ask
minutes.
her.
It could have been a day. It could have been since you got your powers. Could have been longer.
I'd love to have asked her, but we took a deal for quite a significant amount of gold there, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Wait, how much was her payment again?
I think it was 900 each.
Yeah, it was
600.
You said 600, and
600
that is
each.
not true.
It was definitely 600.
No, because I wrote this shit down.
Yeah, well, you hit the wrong key, obviously, because the 6 is under the 9.
I don't have a number pad.
Well, you do now. It's a 600 each.
We'll go back on the episode. We'll confirm. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's all
Our fans
It's all
can
recorded.
confirm.
It's all
I
recorded.
have a master's degree in visual effects. I could change that if I want to.
Not in my
threat.
personal files here.
Good thing you don't sign out.
Oh, speaking of not signing out on Facebook.
Shut up. Anyway.
Anyways.
So, yes, she gave you a bag of holding, requested that she dispel it by morning. You, through a series of checks, finally dispelled
Got that
it.
natural 20.
Apparently, you got to be practicing this shit.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
she's like, hey, you need to be ready for what you were given your powers for. Here,
Whatever
practice.
the hell that means.
Right? So,
I don't know why I was given my powers. He doesn't even think of them as power. He thinks of it as curse. He's still working on that, but
Yeah.
Now, without looking at him, is this something that was in
I'm
your?
not looking.
Is this something that was in your backstory, or this is something he?
Desia, never heard of her.
I
until
know,
this
but like
moment.
this
Not
curse
my
thing
backstory.
and everything.
The curse is mine.
Okay,
The fact that it is a curse, the fact
Gotcha.
that he thinks it's a curse and it is actually a blessing is mine.
cool. So this is something you took, you just picked up and ran with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
The
That's so
god,
cool.
God literally coming down to Mitski and saying this is actually a blessing, and him genuinely not believing that truth was mine.
Gotcha. Okay.
so you guys make your own backstory. I just incorporate you into the world.
Sweet.
You can't tell an actor to make your own backstory and not expect everything for you.
But, yeah, that happened.
I sent you 2 pages of backstory, and I was like, yeah, I have an 8-page.
Yeah,
10-page
see,
version.
everyone did a good. Everybody but freaking Iggy did a good job. That bastard sent me a text, with, like a 2 or 3 line text with his backstory. And I'm like, if you don't get it together, I am not writing a campaign off of these like 2 lines. You need to get it together. You need to.
I feel like that was like my backstory for this campaign. Like I sent you like 3 paragraphs, and then like every day after that, I was like, wait, no, let me add this, and then like go this and this and this until the point where like our Discord chat is like for my backstory is like 2 pages.
The person
long.
who went all out, I gotta give it to him, was Jess.
Oh, really?
She freaking, she
Nice.
gave me a book to go off of with like city information and population and everything. She gave me the
Yeah.
world,
That's awesome.
and I was just like,
We
you.
We should let Jess do a fucking one shot.
yes. Little did you know, Jess is the next DM.
I have actually in my backpack my journal that I was writing all my character backstory in because I had written this character well before this campaign, and then I had to start writing it down, of course. And by the time I started writing it down, he was like, "Oh, we need all your backstory, everything you have, by X day," which was like a week later. And then because of work and because of school, I couldn't type out this 12-page like.
So you
plus.
took pictures of it?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't finished yet.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, fine. I just went on Word document and I just started typing as concisely
as
as I
possible.
could.
We like that.
I hope you expect to receive the whole novel, 100+ page novel.
One of these days. It's when we finish the campaign and write the book, we'll put it in there.
Yeah.
So, you guys encountered your walk through Aklis and the city in front of Aklis. You enjoy yourselves in there, I'm sure.
I'm still confused.
Cool.
So I think that was your intent
Yep.
about Atlas. I'm still very
Atlas?
confused
Atlas.
about Atlas.
I'm Atlas.
So I have so many questions, but I don't know what to ask.
I think I have an idea, but like the theory is so extremely meta that I cannot talk about it on here.
Okay, I feel you.
We'll talk after. We'll talk after.
But yeah, we stumbled upon those
They were like
the lizard folk
yeah.
Yes.
at the end of the episode, and
Yep.
poor guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never
Those
saw it
guys.
coming.
Never saw it
We made
but
quick
before,
work.
before we go over that, there was a one shot in between.
Oh, are we jumping right into that? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
I wasn't at the one shot, so I missed
I
it.
wasn't
No,
at the
it was
one
me, Tony, Mason, and Drew. Which, by the way, guys, it's on our YouTube channel if you want to catch it.
I mean, don't, but you could.
Don't, but actually, no. It was a lot of fun. I think me,
So explain the one shot.
Drew, and Mason, we
Rolled up some great characters.
rolled up some
Some
good
truly
characters.
memorable characters.
I think none of us expected to act these characters like we did.
Yeah.
And then instantly, as soon as we started, we just decided on something all together. And it was very natural and like or
It definitely
organic.
came in very naturally from what you guys from
Yeah.
what it seemed. Like it seemed like you guys kind of based your characters off of one big fight at the end with one as
Yeah.
you call BBG.
yeah, we knew there was going to be at least one big guy, one bad guy at the end of fight. So we were like, all right, there's going to be a big fight. We're going to need to be doing big damage, and then that's what we aimed for.
Yeah, the curveball that I threw at you that I don't think you guys were expecting. I feel like in my head I thought it would have more of an effect. Was having two.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
you
did
guys
not
were all
expect
expecting
that.
one
Yeah, correct.
person, one final boss at the end.
Yeah.
So the story is based off of my D&D world that I created, in which there is a town or a kingdom called Asiv, and they're known for no magic, 0% magic, like punishable by death magic, and their military being so strong that they don't even need it. And the town gets broken into by some strange monster that looks similar to a human, as the people describe, and kidnaps the king's son, Luke, and disappears just in a straight line through the forest, literally straight
Knocking
line,
trees down, yep.
knocking the trees down because it's just convenient at that point.
Yeah.
And these characters, these wonderful band of misfits.
Come in. Sorry, the group of did we call ourselves anything? No, right?
No. I know
No.
that. Okay,
A
so
trio
there's
of mercenaries.
Barbarian.
Yeah, it was a trio of mercenaries. Mason, who played a Loxodon barbarian called
Started with an Milo.
Milo. So you can imagine this massive elephant barbarian, but with a South African accent.
Oh no.
Imagine.
I thought it was Australian.
No, South African.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Ah.
it was South African that suddenly turned
Australian and
no,
then
Just like
Indian.
all of Mason's accents.
yeah, but it turned American Indian as well, or Native American as well.
But he'll fight you on that. Don't tell him that.
He'll fight you on that. Yeah, he didn't
He's gonna
know-
watch this episode
He didn't
and get
notice
mad
it.
at us.
He didn't notice it, but I did.
Yeah. And we had.
But yeah, just imagine, that stone guy from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Maeve or
Something like that. Yeah, imagine
hey guys,
him.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's
Rock,
good.
he mentions like rock paper scissors. In the movie.
And then Drew, who by the way is our
Amazing camera guy.
amazing camera guy, and sort of like he helps us out behind the scenes running the stream
If you
while
ever
we're
see
playing.
me throw a pencil,
It's at Drew.
It's at Drew. He actually came in clutch at the end because we originally had planned for like 4 or 5 people to play, but 2 people dropped out. Ended up being just me and Mason, and then we asked Drew if he wanted to play, and he quickly came to a yes. That was actually his first time playing D&D ever.
Yeah.
So that was I think that was a cool little experience for him. He played a Warforged
Fighter.
I think it ended up being fighter because
Yeah.
we were trying to keep it simple for him.
Something about a tomahawk.
Yes.
Oh my god, the tomahawk.
His name was Tome, and he
had
had
a big
like
T on his
he had a
head.
big T on his head, so he would grab it,
In campaign, he decided it was removable.
and he would be like, Tomahawk.
From what I hear,
Pun
Fred,
intended.
he said it's Toma time.
It's Toma time. It's Tomahawk. Amazing.
And
Honestly,
then we
just
had
amazing.
our
And then
bardic
me.
sorcerer.
I played a bard sorcerer multi-class.
Sounds fun.
Very fun. Actually, it was a lot of fun.
Bard is your pet class.
Huh?
Bard is like your
my
pet
favorite.
class.
Bard is my favorite class.
Yes. What was his name?
Okay, Milo Toman.
Shaha.
Shaha.
Shaha, and he was a Yanti pureblood that looked more human than Yanti, but he had this accent where we had to lift the whole time.
Oh no! Oh
God,
no!
I
It was amazing. Yeah.
It was amazing.
I still haven't watched the one shot. So
It was
hearing
really
this
fun.
is all fucking great.
It was really fun. I would suggest you do it.
Spoilers.
Yes. Anyway, we end up finding the trail, and then we come across this dungeon where there's like a dragon, pretty much dying. So I heal him. I heal the dragon, and he's like, "You guys have to fucking get out of here, because this whatever monster just passed through fucked me up. You guys got to get the fuck out." And we're like, no, we're okay.
We're good.
We're okay. Do you want to help us or anything? No? Okay, no. And then we continued on after I healed him
That was
a
a
little bit.
scary moment for me.
Wait.
That was a scary moment for me. As you started talking, you healed the dragon.
Yeah.
And the second you healed him, I went, oh no. They're going to try to convince him to fight.
See, your mistake was saying that he was still alive.
That's well, I wanted to try to scare you guys a little bit
Yeah.
out of the cave a little bit. So as soon as you started healing him, I started pulling up information on the dragon, fighting stats on the dragon.
Oh my
Because I was like,
God.
if they roll higher than a 25 on persuasion, he's going with.
And I definitely could have. My persuasion was plus 13.
Oh, I was very
I
lucky
could
that
have
you
done it.
didn't.
I could have done it, but I was like,
Jesus, I remember those days. I miss those days.
Yeah, that was,
plus
it was
13 persuasion.
truly scary.
anyway, we get to the last room. We find out that it's not only one dude, but it's also
Can I tell you about that door? I
girl.
don't know if I told you.
no.
about
You
that
didn't.
door?
You didn't tell us. No.
So, the room before they entered was had ropes. They encountered a few magical traps on the way. And the last door that they entered had 2 rope ends tied to the outsides of it, like
the frame.
where the frame basically, and like the hinges and whatnot. And they were so paranoid about traps, which fair. They rolled low enough to not know if they were traps.
I'm
So,
not sure.
Our fighter decided that a druid decided that it would be best to take his greatsword or his longsword or whatever it was and just jam it into the door and saw the top part of the door and separate it from the other, so they could open the bottom part of the door and hold the top one in place so the rope wouldn't let go in case
Oh my
it was
God!
a trap.
Great idea.
So you can imagine two people inside the room just sitting there watching a great sword slam through the door and saw through the wood. It was fantastic. And so he's holding it in place, and they're opening the door, and then they close it very carefully to make sure that the top part doesn't fall. There was no trap. There was no trap in the door. There was no trap for opening the door. So when they entered the room, it was full of rope going every direction, on every wall, every ceiling. Every ceiling.
The ceiling.
Through every wall.
No, every ceiling.
and every inch of the ceiling. All ropes facing different directions, all extremely taut and going in weird, unfollowable patterns.
Yeah.
And just one of them happened to end at the door. So when they opened the door, should they had just crashed on through the door, that rope just would have gone slack and nothing would have happened. Because it's part of a trap that later comes into the fight, which they experienced. Got a little mad about, but they experienced. And you can go on now.
Yeah, so we come upon the missing kid who's just sleeping in a bed, this woman who's just cooking, and then this elf who's just being creepy in the corner.
He was doing what you do. He was taking his notes in his journal.
Turns out it's
It's not creepy at all.
the elf and the woman are just these two, what seem to be regular people, like just beef the fuck up on magical items. Just like she's got like these gauntlets, this belt, and this massive hammer that was bigger than like the Loxodon, the elephant man.
Yeah, it was the
Just
size.
huge
It was the
hammer.
size of just a little bit bigger than an oven.
Damn.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it
Is
was
this
pretty
Monster
big.
Hunter?
It was a huge hammer.
Basically. So okay, can I talk about that?
Yep.
Can I talk about the things that led to that happening?
Yep.
So I posed a trap question for them, a proposition, if you will. I told them before the game started. I said, hey, you guys can have one magic item of your choosing of X rarity. However, for every yes I
remember
get in the
you
party, the BBEG, the big bad evil guy, gets one too. And now this is in Magic, this is kind of like Magic the Gathering, this is a trap. There's cards that do that, and the solution is don't do it. It's tempting, don't do it, because your one thing turns into their 5 things.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you do it, you're like walking yourself into a trap, basically. And sure enough, every single one of them was like, yes, I want the magic item.
He does not know us very well. See, in his campaign, we have been deprived of magical items.
Fair.
So any chance we get,
I'm sorry, wait, hold on. You've been deprived of magic
yes.
items?
Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
My heart goes out to you, one who can use magic items.
You are a magic item. Right?
You and yourself is a
I-
permanent dispel magic. All right.
I'm so sorry, he who can use healing potions.
I can also do it without that too.
Yeah. When we were coming up in
Anyways.
class, I was like, how is he gonna live? How is he gonna make it past episode 1?
There was only one time that I was ever worried, and that was the spider.
And funny enough, that was the biggest fluke ever. That I chose one of the only creatures in the game that when you drop to 0, it doesn't kill you.
Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
specifically says it on Phase Spider that when you drop to 0 because of the poison, it doesn't kill you. You just go unconscious. I was like, oh, I almost killed Mitski.
That was about as lucky as I've ever been. So anyway,
Big battle ensues. Yeah.
Yeah, big battle ensues. The ropes were just part of an intricate trap system that whenever one broke, it would set off a chain reaction to tie up whoever was in the way.
Our new player Drew just didn't.
Didn't.
For half of it, did not fight at all. He chose just to not fight.
Oh yeah, he was trying to wake up the boy the entire time.
While me and Mason's character are just getting destroyed, completely killed.
It's just like, nah, let me wake the boy up.
At some point, Drew is like, "Oh, tomahawk to all of the ropes that I can hit."
Sorry, I'm having
Sorry.
I'm also
Siri,
having
get out
trouble.
of here.
At multiple points in time, Drew decided that he was going to break as many ropes as possible, which posed a slight problem with
Yes.
the Loxodon and the human woman.
It'd be like,
Which equaled out at the end, I think.
It did. Yeah, I think the one of the ones that he broke tied up the elf,
Yes.
which was very inconvenient.
Yeah.
And then I suppose skipping intensity of big fight and whatnot.
Yeah.
They made quick work of these two.
Not really quick, but yeah.
They made interesting work of these two, and retrieved the child, convinced him to come back to the town, and were paid very handsomely for their
Yeah.
work, forgetting to return back for the treasure that they misplaced, that they overlooked.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think you did a good job as your second time DMing. Right? Second time? I think you did a good job. You should keep exploring that path.
Oh yeah. There will be a time in the future in which I take my own campaign.
Hopefully, yeah.
foreshadow.
Yeah. Though that was me choosing my words very carefully.
Just wait until I decide to do a one shot.
You're not.
I'm still waiting. I've been waiting. Yeah, you've been telling me about it.
Yeah,
I've been
I
waiting.
have the map. I have everything
I
written
will
out.
Oh, yeah,
clear.
the
Then why
map.
don't you?
I will
What
clear
an
my
interesting-
whole
Let's do it.
schedule to
Okay.
shit on that one, Jack.
What the
Just to
fuck,
shit on that
man?
one.
On camera right here.
I have
3 Sundays from now. You'll have a shot.
Savage.
You have a
Savage.
chance to do it.
Can we do it on a
okay.
Friday or something?
Oh, sorry.
Well, We'll talk about this.
We'll talk about
after
it.
the
On
stream.
camera.
Alright.
We'll talk about this later.
So
Look out for the next one shot. It's already being planned.
So the week following,
Or it's already planned, apparently.
we returned.
Yes.
The week following, we returned to the main campaign, picking up from spears being pointed at poor Mitski. The party had realized that a couple of the outer scouts for the lizard folk had come across the party and had their spears pointed at them. To their surprise, though, the lizard folk
Don't speak
did not
common.
speak common.
To my surprise,
We
I had a
went.
spell.
We took a good 20 minutes, maybe 30, maybe more, trying to communicate with these lizard folk.
Didn't work out.
And it didn't work. We ended up fighting them until we realized. Do you want to go ahead?
I have a spell that
Mr. Cleric
that
over
could
So,
that
so
could communicate with these
the
folk.
biggest emphasis on that spell is Gabriel's like, does anybody have a spell to communicate?
The entire time.
And then I think he even metagamed enough to say the name of the spell.
Yes.
Does anyone have tongues?
Yes.
No? Damn.
See, I was convinced I didn't have it. I'm like, why would I have that? That doesn't make sense. But then later, like looking at my new spells, I was like,
In the midst of combat.
Wait a second.
They looked
There
at
was
it.
a very odd moment in which.
to be fair, it was a new spell for me.
Yeah.
It is a level 3 spell
To
that
be
I just
fair,
got.
no. To be fair, no.
We recognized that these lizard folk probably wouldn't have been hostile toward us should we have been able to communicate. So there was a good long moment in which we were trying to communicate, it didn't work. When we finally decided to fight, Mitski insisted that we would only be disarming them, which quickly
Did
turned.
anybody try to show them the
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he tried
But
to.
and
he tried to show
there
them
were
the
reasons later that they
Yes,
didn't
to
believe.
your
it.
surprise, yeah, you tried to show them the medallion. It did not have any effects. They just still insisted that you follow them.
Back to where we were supposed to be going, but we didn't.
Well, they were
No.
trying to insist that, but really, they were just pointing a fucking
Spears.
spear.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were,
Which Orys did not like at all.
Nope.
Yeah. And so we finally got in that fight there, but in recognizing that they were ultimately friendly, we had this moment where whenever we would take some of them down,
Somebody would
some
heal
of our
them.
party would decide to heal them,
And they
which
get right
would
back
have worked
up.
really well if they didn't jump right back into the fight. Because every time we knocked one out, one got back up
back
and
up.
started hitting us again.
I get knocked down, but I did not get.
Which,
Was inconvenient to say the least.
Yes.
but I mean,
To
one of
say
the
the
reasons
least.
we started attacking was really because they were not letting down. They're not being
Yep. They
very
just,
friendly at all. They were just like, and like what I was
I
talking
mean,
about.
hey,
I was talking about
now-
Orys earlier, but also on the next episode, like Orys he's down to talk, right? But the second that like any action or like any confrontation starts happening, like he's not afraid
hammer
to just
time.
fucking he's not afraid to just drop everybody that he can.
drop trowel.
Yeah,
and
I
pull the
mean,
hammer.
you know, if they wanted to stab you, they would have stabbed you when it was 1v4.
Now, although if it was still 1v4, it would have been quick.
I mean,
work,
in
too.
their eyes,
In
it was 1v4. They could have had you if they wanted to.
That's true. That's true. They, and I wish that I could have communicated that better with our wonderful party full of murder hobos.
So, but
Yeah. Although I think that was the most cooperative with Mitski's insistence on not killing that we've ever had, because in your guys' defense, Mitski's insisting don't kill these guys, just disarm. And every time one got knocked out, you healed them. So props to you guys, and props to the rest of
For
us.
halfway
for
being
six
cooperative.
of you, yeah.
kind
but
of,
for
yeah,
for
kind of
Ithryl,
cooperative.
who decided to go through with the sneak attack damage and damn near killed the guy. He damn near just Frodo'd him.
Oh my god!
It would have been
I thought
it. It would have been it.
Ooh.
'Cause
That would have been a
decided-
really uncomfortable.
That
thing to
would have been a
explain.
really bad walk back to the village. There would have been no persuasion roll for them to be friendly with you at that point.
But we got there. We got there.
Yes.
We remembered we had certain spells.
Because I think they had 14 HP. And
What did he roll
and
on a sneak attack?
He did, I think it was like 27 damage.
Oh god.
I was just like, one more damage.
My God.
And you would have killed him.
Ithryl tries to
Because
be-
he did enough damage because I think he did enough damage to drop him, but then he started rolling the sneak attack damage. And I'm like,
I mean, obviously we didn't know their HP to begin with.
I know.
So he was probably, he's probably actually.
Well,
just
no,
trying to knock him out.
you
Who
had a
knows?
vague idea of their HP to begin with when you one-shot the first guy.
Listen, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, okay?
But so Ithryl, you guys dealt with them. You managed to convince them that you came in peace, and that they would lead you back to the one they called the Seer, who seemed to be the only person in the camp that spoke common. Speaking with her, you learned that they have
Wait.
been.
Through some very, are we going back to that part in a moment, or through some very crafty investigation checks or perception checks
That as well.
with our rogue and bard.
Oh, not yet.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
going to that in a second. Okay. Let's get
Yeah, you speaking with her, you learned that the outskirts, the initial guards you met, scouts that you met, were so hostile to you.
My parking is up.
Okay,
I will be
we
right
can
back.
do it. You learned that the
I'm just thinking, like,
the initial scouts that you encountered were hostile to you because there have been others in the past who have come in the name of Bendel who
How's
were
he gonna
not
get
so
back
friendly.
in?
Huh?
How's he gonna get back
Sorry. So.
in? Anyways,
Yes,
yes.
there's others who have come in the name of Bendel who have been not so friendly. But you managed to convince her of your intent. She lets you know that that there is an issue with the water that is been hurting anyone who remotely touches it, let alone drinks it.
Yeah.
And you guys decided to investigate that. In the meantime, your lovely bard and rogue discovered that someone in the village didn't seem too happy and worrisome at your arrival and tried to sneak away. You guys decided to follow them, or those two decided to follow them, and got into a quick confrontation with them, realizing that it was a great tiefling in disguise who had ulterior motives with the town. You guys, they fought them, dealt with him really quickly, where he quickly retreated, and they went and rejoined the party. You guys continued to follow the stream until you came to the source of the corruption, and upon investigating it, Mitski managed to dispel one of them and was confronted by an individual who was revealed to be the Grey Skeet Tiefling himself. That's where we ended that episode.
Yep. That was it was an interesting episode because it was not necessarily a hard one. It was just a we need to hold back because we get into this habit of facing or think we're facing creatures that are way stronger than us because we're still a low level considering, but yeah, it's a lot harder to restrain yourself in trying not to kill somebody, and then
Yeah.
it's
Well-
just a lot harder.
Well, I like to try. I always go through this process with my parties to try and. There's always a difficult process of humbling the party to realize there are creatures in this world that are stronger than you. But if you constantly throw those at the party, that's how you demoralize a party.
Yeah.
But there's also the point where you start to realize that you are growing stronger, and there are also creatures in this world that are weaker than you.
Yeah.
So that was your experience, one of your first experience seeing that
Yeah.
there are people, these are supposed to be guards, and they are weaker than you. So
Who is that?
The lizard folk.
the lizard
yeah.
folk.
Oh,
yes.
for sure.
Talking about how we're so used to having or facing creatures that are way stronger than us, and then all of a sudden we have to restrain ourselves because these creatures are super weak. Super weak.
These are supposed to be the guards.
Yeah.
These are protecting the village, and
And I bet they do damn well against the forest folk and like
of course,
like
Yeah.
the
the
wolves
hogs
and stuff like that.
Yeah, but against these strangers,
Well,
they didn't do
because
too well.
they're in the forest, and where the magic enchantment on the forest is, no one who intends harm on Bindle can be in the space.
Yeah.
So, and they're part of Bindle for the most part.
Yeah, correct. So they're
Now,
protected by
hold on
Bindle.
a second.
Hey, I was waiting for you to get that.
We'll get there. We'll get there in this recap.
I was
But
waiting.
hold on a second.
No, we're discussing the episode now, so you can talk about
you
it.
can
Yeah.
go about it.
Okay. So on our way to the seer, through a series of really good planning with our bard and rogue, they decided to keep an eye out on lizard folk characters or lizard folk NPCs who weren't particularly happy to see us. Not necessarily were potential threats, but oh shit, they're here. I need to go tell someone.
Yeah, we went over that while you were gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
we went
they
through
found.
the whole recap of the episode. Now we're discussing it. But
Oh, we talked about their fight already.
yeah,
Yes.
we talked about the whole everything
Wow.
that happened in that episode,
think I
all the
was
way
talking
up until all the way up until the river. The guy grabbed you, his hand dispelled. And
Oh, okay.
And then now we're discussing.
So, no,
no,
one
not
with
not to that fight. We got to the point where the
No,
rogue
yeah,
and the
I'm-
bard.
Yeah, I'm talking about like we already went over. You guys got to the river. Mitski dispelled one of the rocks. He
No,
touched.
we didn't get to that yet.
Yep.
Okay. Guess I
You were
wasn't
here.
listening. Guess I wasn't here.
And I was just like, so how'd you feel about that? And then that's when we started discussing about them being weaker than you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's in
yeah,
recording.
there was a
Sorry.
that was a weird moment I think of conversation that Mitski actually has proficiency in stealth, and he's never used it. He's never
Well,
used it.
I figured as a child, you are probably smaller, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're air, so it
You
makes
are
sense
air.
that you're silent as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's sneak forward the three of us was a good plan,
Yeah.
and thank God for Pass Without a Trace, because I went and rolled in true Tony fashion a natural 2 for stealth, which brings up to a grand old 8, but thanks to Pass Without a Trace is a solid 18, which is significant. Stop.
Wait, I'm doing something.
Yeah, and then coming out of that was a little bit. Oh,
Is this Mitski and
This is one of the
It's
songs on
Talali's
Mitski and
theme.
Talali.
coming out of that stealth was like a solid plan and 2 factions that like when I go back in, I will have a much better role ideally, but also like investigate this rock because it's probably the source of the poison in the first place. Now, what I just put together about a solid 2 minutes ago is how can someone have this tiefling character obviously and his partner Naga partner, if that's what it is, I don't know, had very strong feelings against Bindle, very hostile feelings against Bindle, which is what the forest doesn't allow. The enchantment on the forest doesn't allow.
Yeah.
So they were either strong enough to withstand that and still be in the forest,
Or there's an inside player.
or
Could be that the river itself was weakening the protection as well around the area, because we were right around the river the whole time.
Good theory.
it's certainly
So-
possible. And it now I'm trying to tie this back to why that one lizard folk died. Like, what caused the death of that lizard folk?
Which one? There was so
The
many.
one on the way.
Well,
Oh,
it said you would be corrupted by the river if you drank from the water.
Yeah, anyone who drank from that poisoned water would be corrupted somehow. We don't. The only thing we know about that is that when we came back into the town, there were 2 of the lizard folk who were fighting. 2 of the soldiers who were fighting
Right.
Civilians.
but all we could tell from the lizard folk on the road was that it had been dead for a couple weeks or a couple days.
I got there. Okay, so that was the lizard folk that the tiefling took the place of.
Maybe.
Because obviously, what are you gonna do? Come into a town and be like, "Hi, I'm new."
Hello.
Pretend I'm here.
But I guess they weren't important enough to look for that medallion on their neck. So it was a significantly less important lizard folk.
I mean, I imagine they trade, so it could have just been a trader.
Trader?
Tradesman? Tradesman?
Okay.
A merchant.
Well,
Merchant?
I'm
Trade
thinking.
tour, trader.
I'm trying to decide if the necklace had significance within the town because we didn't look, we didn't see if.
Yeah, they did, because she just took the necklace, and they were like, okay, you can take the body away.
Right. So is that worth something, or is that significant to their people?
Not sure. Not
Who
sure.
knows?
Not caught up on lizard folk culture.
Oh, you should read up. It's truly interesting.
Yeah.
Imagine so. They're so.
Have you ever heard about the Gear Wars?
So this poison river, I forgot where we were going
Yeah.
with this, to be honest.
Is
There
that
was
the end
something
of
that I
the
wanted to
episode?
talk about.
The episode ended when he grabbed Mitski and his hand dispelled.
That was such an intense moment.
But
Oh God! Because he started interrogating me. He was like, "How did you dispel this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you mean this? Well, you can kind of dispel anything if you just give it a." And I tried to dispel it.
I was just like,
didn't work.
there's not a deception check in the world
wasn't
that
even-
would have made him believe that.
In all fairness, I was not trying to deceive him about that.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to physically break the enchantment on that moment, so he
Yeah.
couldn't prove anything.
Yeah. That's why when you said that, he was like, "No, you didn't."
And then he went for the grab, and that was just his last mistake, I suppose.
Yeah, that was a really big mistake on his part. But
If only we didn't kill him, we would have gotten so much information.
right. Darn murder hobos over here.
Darn double thunderstorms.
Max damage.
Anyway, next episode.
Moonbeamed.
We
Yes.
fight the guys.
So yes, next episode you fight him. Ithryl is taken entirely off guard.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my! Oh
when
shit!
he is,
Yeah.
He is quite literally knocked. He literally knocked the hell out of Ithryl.
Is that a
I
one?
was-
When did he get one shot?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He got
got one
Frodo'd. Yeah.
If you
I warned
look
him.
back, if you look back at the stream, I look over at Ian and I'm like, "Holy shit! You are Ithryl's fucking dead."
Yeah.
You-
It sounded
I was
so mundane.
very worried.
Yeah. It was.
It
so-
sounded so mundane when you described the damage, because I think what was an Eldritch Blast? that
Yeah,
hit
it
him?
was an Eldritch Blast
So
that hit him.
the Eldritch Blast hit him, and he rolled the first die.
and he fell in the
he goes-
water. Yeah.
Yeah, he falls in the water. He goes, "You take 8 points of Eldritch Blast damage,
Force damage.
or
yep,
force
and then-
damage," and then it's
It's like
and
20.
then, and then
50
all
and
of a
50.
sudden we hear click, click, click of the dice rolling.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click,
They're
click,
like,
click,
when's
click,
he
click.
gonna stop rolling?
And we're all sitting here going, "What's going on?" And, he
It's
goes,
like,
and then
okay.
you take 54
Just
damage
take
of
your
psychic.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Like, what?
I had plenty of D10s back there, but I wanted you to hear ding, ding, ding.
D10s.
Yep.
You could have TPK'd him.
TPK.
You were.
Well,
You
if he was the
You true
total
kill.
party.
Yeah.
The max damage that thing does is 100 damage. I'm like,
Oh my god.
it wasn't enough. The odds of me rolling
Unlikely.
that high.
Statistically
The odds of me
unlikely.
rolling that high, because I could have killed him.
God.
What's his max HP? I think is like 38, 37.
Yeah, for sure. It's
But-
lower than mine for sure.
So, you know,
This is. Yeah,
I
weird.
wasn't gonna deal.
Thank God it wasn't
60-something
gray.
damage.
Because
I got close to it.
What's your
I
max?
I forget what my max is, but every time I roll for HP, I get like
A
an
1.
extra 2.
Yeah.
you have-
last time he rolled for HP, he rolled a natural 1, and
Yeah.
I laughed
And then he made me keep it.
Do you
because
have a high
I rolled a
constitution?
natural 1 as well.
Oh my god, really?
We
You-
both rolled a natural 1
You
because
gotta
I
work on your
because
your
I usually do
constitution.
for the first couple of levels. We both roll
Or take tough feet
and
whenever you can.
But we both rolled a natural 1, and I was like, "You're keeping it."
I'm just like, I have 3 health bars. I can wild shape, and then it's like, oh my god, I'm at like 4 HP. Fuck. Doesn't matter at this
So-
point.
Do you have a lot of HP, Orys?
Not
like
as
calling by your
much.
name, but-
Not as much as
Me?
I would like.
Just take the tough feet. Call it a day.
Stop convincing everyone to take the tough feet later.
No,
It's a
you.
great feat.
You
I know I have it. I know.
You know what direction I'm going with my character. So
No, you don't need to go any other direction but just kind of tough feet.
What? Can we take the lucky feet, Larry?
Yeah,
What?
I'm not scared of lucky.
What?
I'm not
There's
scared
some
of
there's some feats I'm scared of.
Okay, what feet are you scared of, Larry?
Tough and lucky.
Okay, guess what my next feat's gonna be like.
So
And a weapon master too. Ooh, so scary.
but
Oh, that was.
yes, you
was
dealt
my
with
little
him, and you got into you're a little past a bit, and
double thunder strike. Yeah. Can we talk about that? Because that was some really next gen strats.
That was
Oh
awesome.
yeah, dude, that was perfect.
I was like,
Because at some point,
I'm
through
happy.
the fight, at some point through the
Yeah,
fight, you're like, is
I
it
was like-
raining? What's the weather like?
It's one of those. It's one of those moments that I'm sure Matt has experienced where he's just like, I'm kind of mad, and at the same time I'm proud.
Yeah, no, because I was reading that spell the entire time, and that's why I cast Moonbeam first, and I was like,
Wait,
you
is
know,
that why you fuckers keep asking? What's
Yes!
the weather like?
Yes!
What's the weather
I thought
like?
you knew. I thought you knew.
Yes,
No.
of
There
course.
was the campaign that Larry and I were in before we joined this one. That was the main killer of enemies. Was,
Yeah, it was
what's
that
the
friggin-
weather like?
I
So
didn't
as soon
catch
as-
on.
As soon as that question came up, I was like, oh boy.
And then
I did
like,
catch on.
I didn't have the range for it, and I was just like, "Fuck it! All right,
So,
I'm gonna call
That's what I'm ready to
lightning."
do. I'm gonna make it be like a tornado out, and you guys are gonna encounter nothing. You guys
The
gotta.
Worst
But-
thunderstorm you've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't.
gonna
Even,
happen.
I didn't even think of it like that, and I also didn't know you had that spell. So I was just like,
Yes.
"All right, call lightning, zap," and then you were like, "Let me double zap that."
So the strategy we're talking about here is call lightning to create the storm. On a clear day, call
I
lightning
created the
creates the
storm.
storm.
Yes.
And then a second PC's call lightning, while in a storm,
Gets
does
buffed
extra
from
damage.
that
Yes.
storm.
So does, instead of 2d10, I think it's 3d10 damage.
Well,
The way the
I
nice.
casted it at 3rd level, so it's 3d10, and I think you did it as well, so it's 4d10 on your strike.
Plus, if his feature,
Because
he
the
can
way
do max damage.
the way the
Yeah,
spell
what
works.
did you got a straight 40 on that?
Yes.
Yeah, he has an ability whenever you use thunder damage
Or lightning.
max
or
it
lightning
out.
damage, you can max it out
Yeah.
once per day.
Once per day.
yeah, the look, I love the look.
It's
on
my
the DM's
divine
face.
divine
Oh,
what
is
do you call
your,
it?
divine power or whatever.
Yeah.
Divine,
Bastards.
Yeah, no, that was definitely. I saw you. You
Yeah.
were like, I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to let them. This is like, this is like a genuinely not well thought out, but a well implemented plan.
There was one other time I saw that look on your face, and that was the natural 20 flick of the gold coin. Do you remember what I'm talking about here with Gabriel playing?
Oh yeah.
And I think it was Ithryl.
I was just like, how
it was one of
how
you
do
two.
I describe a natural 20 gold coin
I
flip?
think it was
I think
you.
it was me. Yeah.
Decides to flip
Yeah,
a gold coin to
yeah.
him to get the party started, to get everyone else to realize, oh, we can start giving him money.
Yeah.
And Ithryl's like, I'm going to snatch that gold out of the sky. But he rolls a natural 20 to get it to its location. So here's our DM going, how on earth do I describe a
Yes,
natural
and
20
you see,
gold coin?
you see as it glimmers in the sky, oh, as it flips at the same tempo as the music, and it's just like, I'm like, I guess.
Now, can we talk about campaigns that we played prior? Like a
Yeah.
story, can I tell an anecdote about gold coins and natural 20s?
Yeah, I think we will have time.
That sounds,
little bit of
that
time.
sounds like a sweet name for a fucking.
Gold coins and natural 20s.
we have to.
We do have a time limit.
All right, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
hyper condense it here. Where basically my character is the only one who can speak Goblin. We ran into some goblins, and they decided that they were gonna try to rob us because that's what goblins do. And in miscommunication, the goblin held up a gold coin to show this is what I want. Because all of the other players and my silent character was like, what's going on? And he finally held up the gold coin and go, this is what I want. And my character goes, oh, he said, I bet you can't shoot this gold coin out of my hand.
Just to be a dick.
And so the girl who was playing with us shot an arrow and natural 20, goes through the coin into the goblin, kills the goblin immediately.
So you
No.
lied about what they said.
Yeah.
The goblin was like, give us all your money, basically. And my character was like, oh, he said, I bet you can't hit this coin out of my hand.
Yes.
Nice.
It's not done yet.
And so that being done, and us laughing hysterically, the goblin next to it tries again and goes, no, give us your money with the gold coin out again. And so naturally my character's like, he said, I bet you can't do it again. And the girl rolls a second natural 20 and kills
Amazing.
that goblin too. And that was the
Amazing.
end of that entire
Encounter.
combat. Because there was only 2 goblins. We were level 1.
Oh my god.
We
That's
just annihilated them both by accident. So that was my favorite gold coin encounter. That was my second favorite gold coin encounter.
But
Back to the story real quick.
Yes.
We zapped the fuck out of this guy's crystallized Annie
Oh,
fucking
he turns into
cocoon.
ice. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Annie
Yes.
Leonhardt from
he has an
From,
ability.
Tag on
He has a
Titan here.
warlock
Yeah.
ability where he can encase himself in ice.
I also had a very burning question about that. Is
What?
if the fucking lightning was amplified by the ice because lightning or electricity is conducted by.
I don't
like
think it-
logically,
I'm not-
maybe.
I'm not
but,
I'm not a physicist, but I think because I don't know if a physicist would be the person to answer this question either.
Pretty
An
sure.
But like
electrician.
an electrician would know about ice and water and how it conducts.
Possibly in a
Possibly.
more practical sense.
Fair. I think because of because the molecules are going so slowly in the ice that it doesn't have the same amplifications as water would.
Anyways, he's dead.
He's dead.
He dies.
Well, the thunder came down after the ice melted anyway.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So
Like-
okay.
Yeah, because I think Talali and I took a good.
You
chunk
guys
out
took a
of the
massive
ice.
chunk out of it, and then the next turn, the ice melted away, and that's when you brought the thunder. You took them out. You did. This is where you and Gray kind of split ways because you guys decided to question the corpse,
Yes.
and gathered some intel on.
Oh,
who
this
he
is also when Gabriel was going through the corpse and flipped a fucking coin purse. I grabbed it.
Full of money.
It's like
It
4
wasn't-
platinum.
It wasn't full
Absolutely
of money. It
full
was
of money.
technically only like 30 coins, but
It
you
was
know, it was
20
the type
platinum.
Of coins. It was the type of coins.
Yeah.
But
Boy's rich.
That's so
Gabriel picked up the bag. He was like, "That's light. That's not a heavy bag." But
Affluenza over there.
Affluenza.
but
And then he stripped the body.
But yes, you guys found an interesting mark on his hand. A staff. What was the staff again?
It was a.
Oh yeah, Hope. Do you want to tell us what the
Hope, you want to
staff
tell us what
is?
that staff
Yeah.
was?
Oh yes, the staff was a rod of the keeper.
No.
The
Pact
oath.
keeper?
What is it?
Pact
Oh,
keeper?
Yeah,
Thank you.
pact keeper's rod +1.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
God.
God, I kind of don't want Hope come back just so we can keep it going.
You heard that, Christy? You heard that?
But yes, he had a rod of the Pact Keeper and just some other stuff on him that wasn't important. But
Those are famous last
you
words.
managed to question him and learn of his identity, who he was working for, what he came here to do.
But not about his 2 large demonic associates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we never found them, did we?
No.
No, I mean, off meta, he was just a warlock who had to, like, you know, to summon fiends, so I don't think it's that big of an issue.
I don't think it's
Those are also
It'll
famous
definitely
last
not.
words.
It'll definitely not come back to bite us in the ass.
in the next session.
Actually, that's what we said episode 1.
Yeah.
Do you remember that with the smoke ball?
Yeah, no. Definitely nothing to do with our main story.
Yeah, maybe if we stopped killing people.
No.
Well, yeah,
we
we're the
won't do
most
that.
oblivious party. It's just like a bad guy comes out. I want you to do this. Like natural 20.
Anyway, we
So, yeah, you questioned the corpse, got some information from him, returned to town to hear the sounds of screams. Investigating it, you see that a couple of the lizard folk were attacking the other ones, and that there was some type of creature attacking the seer and their people. Trying to you dealt with in the most peaceful way possible the lizard folk that were attacking, and went to go check it out. Entering inside, you saw this monstrosity of a creature, serpent type creature.
How big was it, by the way?
It's considered large.
Oh wow. Okay.
Largy.
I believe it is, at least.
Oh,
Um,
I just got there in my head to what that creature was and how I know about it.
I don't think you know what it is. But
Oh, what?
I don't know. But it's got like the body of a snake of sorts, 2 hooked arms, and like the head of a fish. and alongside him was another one of the people, gray-skinned people. But this one strangely had gray skin, but he was a human who was working with Santo. Who was working with this creature. But the creature seemed more fascinated with Mitski and his ability to dispel its creations.
And it's 2 points of exhaustion.
After questioning him a bit, the party was insistent on dealing with this in their own manner and kept attacking it, which it didn't seem very phased on their attacks.
Oh yeah, it was not at all.
Being very quickly dispatching of 2 of the party members. I know, right? Quickly dispatching 2 of the party members, it continued to question. It continued to question the party, Mitski primarily, and decided that Mitski may be one of the people that it is looking for. Deciding that
It said one?
I don't know. Deciding deciding to force Mitski to do what it wanted to. It kidnapped Gabriel and told Mitski and the party to meet it at Aklis prison. And it teleported away.
Oh yeah, I forgot Gabriel got taken.
Yeah.
Great.
It was almost me. It was almost me.
Yeah.
Orys, yeah.
It was either it was between Orys and Gabriel was the first to throw a blow. So Gabriel was the target. So.
Nobody else joined in on the fight.
Because it wasn't supposed to be a fight!
Pissed me off.
It wasn't supposed to be
Here's
a fight!
Orys ready to lay down his life for his new friends, and everyone's like, "Oh, no, actually, I don't want to fucking fight." So,
Here's Orys
not
getting
an
one-shotted.
I don't feel like fighting anymore. So I'm not gonna do
Gabriel damn near gets Frodo'd, and everyone's like, "Well, maybe we shouldn't fuck with this thing." And Orys is like, "We can take him."
Here's every single member of the party who does damage to it almost getting Frodo'd.
and then yeah.
And
same,
instead of-
same,
Yeah, because there was only 2 people damaged.
same thing happens to Orys, and everyone was like, "Maybe we can't take him. Maybe we should try."
All things considered, we could.
We
probably
could have.
could.
We could
Probably.
have. Yes.
Possibly.
But we were having a conversation.
So it just
Is that something Orys
Conversations
commonly does?
Can happen during fight.
I
I'm just saying.
mean, conversations are far less likely to happen during fight.
Much
So
harder
it
to
decided
have.
It's
whilst
not
you
an anime.
whilst
We're
you
not gonna
guys
be
decided
sword
to
to sword speaking a
try
whole
and take it
monologue.
out, it quickly took you guys out whilst having its conversation with Mitski.
I just feel for Gabriel. I don't even feel for Gabriel. I feel for the monster because Gabriel in character probably would not stop talking the entire time he's in prison. Just being like, you know my friends are coming, right? Do you know who I am? Do you know who my friends are? Like,
I want to speak to your manager.
fucking Gabriel.
Gabriel was, "Hey, you guys got any alcohol? It's kind of
Where is
like,
the fucking wine here?
where's the wine?" And
They
then
took all my joints.
and then he won't stop playing his damn guitar, so they break the guitar, and he uses prestidigitation to make another.
Let's not give him any ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes, the session ended with you guys getting a message attached to Bones' leg saying an individual by name of Iggy is coming from Bindle. He's on his way.
Which was our
Azalea.
little friend.
Huh?
Azalea?
Iggy.
Azalea.
No, she's not equipped for this type of
Is he
adventure.
thick though?
That's our little
All
little
right,
boy,
that's
right?
where.
No.
You know, the guy said his name is Iggy, and he's on his way.
Not
We don't
Izzy.
know an Iggy.
You guys don't know Iggy.
Yeah.
And not Vivi.
Not Vivi.
Nah, baby.
So
But yeah.
I guess we have to go to Aklis because I mean the
Or we could
That's
just
where-
just
You
be
know,
like,
if you
"Fuck
guys
you,
decide to
Gabriel."
say, Gabriel, sorry.
He wasn't that great anyway.
Casualties of war, I guess.
Kind
Can
of
we-
weak.
Can we
If we're
do,
gonna be honest.
Can we do like a fake session next week where we just say "fuck Gabriel"? It's all an inside joke for us and just watch Mason get super.
I support that. I support that.
I'm
we
down
can,
for
we
that,
can
yeah.
start the episode at 10 instead of 9 or something. Or at 10 instead of 11, and
I'm
we
like,
just
hey Gabriel, hey Mason, I guess you're making a new character.
like on stream, you're like,
Or we
Gabriel,
just-
I guess roll a new character.
No, just text him and be like, hey man, I need you to come in an hour in advance and then explain to him that the whole party left him and nobody gives a
So
shit.
here's the thing. They said, fuck Gabriel. I ain't going. Did you see Atlas?
They actually all agreed.
Yeah,
that they were
everyone.
better off without you.
See, half of the party said that they wanted to go save you, but the other who was in the dream was like, "Did you see that place? I ain't going there."
We've never had as a party an unanimous decision, but this one was
This
leave
is-
Gabriel.
Leave Gabriel.
And every single one of us were down for it.
Probably deserved it.
Now,
bro,
in all-
let's be
all
honest.
things
How much
considered-
time we'll save on shopping from now on?
Oh my god.
All things considered, Gabriel and Orys being taken was literally their fault.
Orys
Because
wasn't taken.
they
She-
fought
you know,
the thing that was just
I
trying
was-
to talk to
I was
us.
actually contemplating taking 2 people because she had 2 arms, but she just took Gabriel.
I disagree with that as a person and as a player.
How do you
is
disagree?
it our fault that we're fighting
Because
to
she-
protect you?
Because she wasn't doing anything to me.
Exactly.
We were just talking.
Really? Really?
Yes, literally.
Big bad
I
thing.
will say this. You guys walked up. She turned around, said, "Hi, shoot it." It was literally
Okay,
you guys'
so
reaction.
think about this. We were hired to figure out what's wrong with this village.
And
The
we
village
see
is on
the wrong
fire.
thing. I understand.
You don't want us to put out the fire?
We were hired to find out what was wrong with the village.
We didn't start the fire.
He
okay?
didn't tell. He was not paying
It was
us
always
900
burned
gold
since
each.
the world's been turned.
He wasn't
I
paying
saw
us
you
900
going. I
gold
tried
each
to
to
stop
stop the thing.
Oh, you wanna argue with him about
This is
semantics?
No, this is me. This is Tony in semantics. But also, like, the thing didn't try to attack. It was
just destroying
trying
the
to
village. It was just destroying the village.
was looking
that we
for
were
us.
hired to make sure it was okay.
But she stopped when we came in.
She was still doing bad shit.
Like, okay, so like, do you? I can't even like. I
A
can't even
monk
think
and
of
a
an example.
cleric have an
obviously.
argument.
Yeah. This is like because she stopped when we entered, so there was no
Yeah,
more
only to
fighting.
look at us.
Huh?
Only to look at us.
To converse with me. She
So?
stopped fighting, but you were like, "Let's fight her anyway."
That's the best time to fight. Monologuing.
and then she absorbed. She took every single attack like a champ, and barely showed us a single sign.
I'm gonna kill Gabriel and Orys until they stop attacking my villains when they monologue. Let me fucking monologue. I'm gonna keep killing your
Let the
characters.
lore be told.
Thank you, because you did that shit last campaign. I was like,
Which time? Which time? Name one time.
every time.
name
a
5 times.
Every time a villain showed up, and I was like, cool, time for you guys to figure out who they are, why they're doing this. Shoot it!
I'm like, I would like to rage.
The only time I agree with fighting them was when the human turned around and went into the seer's house. It's the only time I agreed with hitting them. But for any other time, she was like, "This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Stop!" And she hit you for more than half of your HP, and was like, "This is fine. This is fine. Fine. I'll kill you then."
See ya. Oh,
See, that's because she was. It's my opinion that she was getting worried
She was getting worried, but 2 of our party members were unconscious.
because the other 6 weren't doing shit.
But you guys and her, you would have been fine.
this
if we
was
started
one time
fighting,
where me and Mitski were getting along and being like, let's
I mean,
listen to what she has to say
Oh my
for a,
God.
a fucking second. One goddamn
the
second.
thing is, if we started fighting her, she could have killed you.
She
Like
could've-
100%
yeah,
no
one
coming
of,
back
One of
killed
us
you.
would have died.
Because you were already unconscious and she had you in her arms.
Orys was ready to die to protect
But
you.
we're not ready for Orys to
to
die. And there was no protection happening because I wasn't in danger.
She was totally gonna like take you if she.
She
if
was
she
having a
could've-
conversation.
If
with
she
me.
had no resistance, she would have like easily taken you.
If she
Gray wouldn't have let the boy get taken.
if she moved any closer to me,
Gray
I would
with
have
the
agreed
2
with you.
2 HP.
I have 3 health bars. Okay?
If she moved any closer to me before we started attacking her, I would have agreed with you. Like if we were having this conversation and she was like, "Oh no, you're coming with me,"
She
and then
did
moved
move
toward
closer
me
to you, though.
after we started bombarding her.
Exactly. So she was on her way to fuck your shit up, but we stopped her. You're welcome.
Also,
You're welcome.
All things considered, Mitski is not thinking in the most
I will
cognitive of ways.
take a thank you anytime.
Mitski can't give you he's at 2 exhaustion
He
points. He's
would
not
thank
thinking
you, but
straight.
you're a bit unconscious, so you know you're gonna have to get up for
No,
that.
Yeah,
I
I
was
can't-
I was
Oh,
healed.
you're up.
Yeah.
Yo,
I was healed.
after this recap episode, it's not a recap, I guess, but
It's not a recap.
Oh, it's a recap.
After
This-
this
not a
not
recap.
recap.
this is funny shit. I'm gonna come to the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll be at the rest of them.
Okay.
Sweet.
So,
The episode ended with
with Gabriel being taken.
And then
Being
us going to
taken
being
and-
told to go to a prison that
Doesn't
nobody is
exist.
sure it exists,
Yes,
or nobody
Except-
knows where it is.
Except Talali.
Talali.
Except Talali.
Yeah.
And those were the final
That was-
words in the episode. Was Talali's like, Mitski's like, the prison doesn't exist. It's like a
know
prison
where
that
the
doesn't
prison
exist that
is.
also starts with an A. And then Talali's like, oh, I know where it is. And then the episode ends.
Yes, because for like 1, 2, or 3 episodes, I can't remember. I was literally waiting for someone to mention the name of the prison or describe it around Talali,
Yeah.
and no
Oh, yeah,
one did
'cause
it.
she was-
she was one of the 2 people who wasn't in the dream.
Ever.
So
Yeah, because she always slept outside.
she was a smart girl.
Well, she's a bird.
She's a smart bird. But she didn't go through the dream, so she didn't see it with you guys. None of you guys described it, so she would be like, "Oh, that sounds familiar." So nobody said it around her, so she was just like, "Sounds like a bad place. Sounds like you guys had a terrible dream." But like, and then she heard Atlas prison, and she's just like, "I know that place."
oh man, now I'm wondering how she knows it.
I'm
Yeah.
still convinced it doesn't exist. You can't, like, Mitski's gonna have to see it. Like, of all things to Lolly to say, like, this is definitely one of those, like, put on the music. Talali's taking us to Atlas prison, everyone.
Now, question is, when we get there, are we gonna see Nimra there as well?
I will freak out. Lose my mind.
I don't know,
If
man.
Nimra's in the prison, I'm
Nimra's
gonna
gone.
die.
Nimra's gone on some secret mission.
Jesus Christ. We warned her.
We saw her.
Putting my tinfoil hat on, I think you're somehow gonna end up taken. She's gonna come
hey,
in like,
when you
no,
guys-
take me instead.
And then I'll come right
All right,
back.
Hope.
when you guys got the necklace, they said it was warning you.
But what was it warning us about? I wish I could communicate with it.
Warning us and giving us horrible nightmares as
I mean,
well.
yeah, of a
Yeah,
horrible
nightmare's
place.
kind of a
There was
warning.
nightmares
It's
of
not
a
like-
horrible
yeah.
place, and then you know what? Atlas was a horrible place.
Atlas is certainly
don't
a
know.
horrible place.
Maybe you guys, I don't know.
It's like
I'll be quiet.
the other prison that starts with an A that sucks all the joy out of people's hearts.
A's Cabane.
What's that about Azkaban?
Sorry, did you say Alcatraz? Well, our next episode is going to be us listing all the prisons that start with A.
Alcatraz.
Anyway, guys,
Atlas.
I think that might be a
That's
good place to end this
Yes,
episode.
because that's where the story ended.
That's yes. If you guys don't know, if you're watching now, we play Dungeons and Dragons every Sunday. We start streaming at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We stream for about 4 hours, and there is about
There's 8 of us.
7 players,
7 players
with the
and
Dungeon
the
Master
DM.
making it 8. Catch us on there. We also have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to, like every single video, and watch all 60 hours of the videos.
Get
And
caught
hit
up. Don't
and-
watch
yeah,
the recap.
get caught
Just
up.
watch.
It's not a
just
recap.
watch-
Don't call it a recap.
It's not a recap.
You don't have to watch our not recaps if you watch all the episodes.
Yeah.
No, but I appreciate anybody watching, and we will catch you guys on Sunday with hopefully our regular cast.
Yeah.
And yeah, anything
And
else
then
you guys want to say?
Thank you again for Blue Raven Studios for
Thank you,
having
Blue
us.
Raven Studios.
Appreciate it so much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
See you next time.
Stay cheesy.